Good morning and welcome to Morning Brew. And JP's was first to the chat. Good morning, JP's. What's going on? Hope you're having a good morning so far. Got my coffee, took my medicine, and yeah, besides a minor sinus thing, has to do with the weather. Doing good. Little pain, but doing good. And good morning, Eric Sonder. How are you this morning? Not too much. Do you have your Pepsi this morning, JP? Oh, you'll be interested in knowing when I was out. Uh, God, that seems like days ago. When I was out yesterday, um, stopped by a local Dollar Tree, and they had 1.25 liters of Pepsi on sale for $1 each. So I went ahead and bought four. Uh, and JP's had to scramble to put his headset on because he heard me talking. Eric has to go to the dentist today. Ooh. What for? Is it like a cleaning, or are you having some kind of dental issue? Uh, I don't even like going for cleaning, to be quite honest. Um, I usually end up coming out of there hurting. Uh, don't ask me. Cavity filling. Ew, even worse. Um, don't ask me, JP's. That's just what it said on the bottle. Um, I think they're just called 1 liter bottles, but they're actually 1.25. And well, JP's, if you have better conversation, bring it up, or I'll be dropping a link in the chat, so you can always come up here and talk about other things. Hell, I need to go to the dentist. I'm avoiding it until I absolutely have to. At least, unlike on Sci-Fi Nation chat, I was able to post my own link. I was on his chat yesterday or last night, and he couldn't post the link. He sent me the link on Twitter. I couldn't post the link, even though I'm a moderator. And finally, I just sent the message that I put out on Discord, on his Discord, into the chat, and it went through. So, let's see here. JP says, I'd rather have my nuts shaved than dunked in aftershave lotion. Ooh. And Kapla, Bird Prey 5. I didn't say you have to. Nobody is forced to do anything. And Kapla, Richie Poole. How are you today? I hope things are going well.
Hello, world. It's Berto Prey 5. Kapla.
Kapla.
Who are you forcing to do what this morning?
I'm not forcing anyone to do anything. I just left it as an option if JP's wanted to come up here that he could.
Interesting.
I will never say you have to come up here. That's mean. That's cruel. That's an asshole move.
It's also very hard to enforce.
Well, yeah. Let's forget about that. But yeah.
So I had a message in my Twitter messages overnight
Yes.
from someone I haven't seen in a while,
Mm-hmm.
heard of. Andrea Seabrook is apparently still out there.
Yep.
She says hello.
Cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Didn't get much details, but she did drop a note, so that was nice.
Absolutely.
Curious. I guess everything's okay with her.
I would say so.
IZJP's has quite the interesting background.
Yep.
Why is Captain Picard on there, though? It's like one of those pictures is not like the other.
Exactly.
And it's the first top left picture. Fun will now commence. Okay, 7. Oh, no, I don't want fun with Garrett. That's the wrong type of fun. I'm not NB. I don't go both ways.
Well, tell me what's wrong with this picture.
Boobs are too high and too big. That's been edited.
Oh, of course.
Severely edited.
It would be funny if somebody slipped those frames into the official DVD release or something. Nobody noticed till they already printed 10 million copies. Richie Poole says, Bird of Prey, are you wearing your Klingon comm badge? Since when do Klingons have comm badges? Okay, it's a Klingon emblem. I called it the comm badge. It didn't officially call itself a comm badge. I had a Klingon comm badge that actually made a noise when you clicked on it as an official whatever back in the next gen days. So they clearly sold the Klingon comm badge, even if it never worked as a comm badge.
Right.
The noise it made, was it a grunt?
No, it was the same kind of comm badge noise that the TNG comm badge made.
Richie, why are you getting up at 4 a.m.? I mean, it's 6 a.m. here, so you're obviously, can't think of it, Pacific time.
Well, he's usually working by the time DS9 Wednesday or Bed Life comes on, so
True.
He's got to get his YouTube time in somehow before he goes to work.
You like that link I sent you, Bird?
And good morning.
I did. In fact, I posted it on my forum.
It's pretty amazing.
Sorry,
Captain.
We're talking about JP's found a very customized 2003 Jeep Grand Cherokee that I had to share with my Jeep friends.
Someone turned it into a truck. Well done, too.
It better be well done. The waste of a good Jeep. And good morning, Kinjack Ben. says pumpkins forever.
Mm.
I do love those pumpkins. Yeah, and if anyone tells you not to send pumpkins, tell them to kiss my ass.
Okay.
And use, yeah, say, Captain Trek said kiss my ass if you don't like these. So, yeah. Don't care.
Yes, the comm badge was like 5 times too big and bulky. It was the 90s tech. What were you going to do? But
okay, here we go.
I mentioned it, so I might as well show everybody what it looked like. What's going on? That's the wrong window. Hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ordered some of those guys.
Well, it's a good thing you didn't pull up the hub window. That's all I have to say.
Oh, please. Come on,
And
switch.
Ricky Poole says, I normally get up at 5 a.m., but there are days when I wake up early for no apparent reason and can't get back to sleep. Yeah, I hate those days. In fact, when was it? Well, that long ago, I woke up like at 3 a.m. and it's like, I can't get back to sleep. I can't get back to sleep.
There we go. That's the correct window.
That's the correct window. Good.
You see, that's not what that truck's supposed to, SUV is supposed to look like.
oh, it's supposed to go all the way to the back. There's not supposed to be a bed at all. In fact, I mean, it almost looks like they lengthened it a little, considering the size of that bed. I'm now that I'm looking at it, I'm even more surprised at how long the bed is.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'll be honest, that the back of that Jeep didn't have a ton of room. But I guess they took out the back seats, so it's only a 2-seater now. It has to be, right? There's not 4 seats back there. Although, look at that window. Okay, no, there's only the front door. The back door is gone completely.
Yeah.
So, yeah, okay, it's just the 2 front seats. I guess they could do that. That's right. And the wheel wells come up into the back, so it's not even that you have a completely flat bed. You know, it wasn't made to be a truck.
Yeah, the problem with this, though, is I can imagine it would be pretty hard to insure.
Not only hard, well, I noticed it's in Canada.
You think?
I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
But not only hard to insure, I don't know how legal it would be.
Oh, of course.
In the U.S., but it's a unibody. I mean, Jeeps are unibodies, not on frame. So when you mess with the top, you really mess with the structural stability of the whole thing. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised just driving over big bumps and fucking windows start to crack on something like that.
See if they put a full roll cage inside here, but it doesn't.
But I mean,
I don't see it. Yeah.
Yeah, even the doors. I mean, people would mess with the doors, and just messing with the doors would ruin the entire body of the Jeep. It wasn't designed to drive with the door open. It doesn't have the rigidity it needed.
That's just, I'm sorry, made look cool, but also looks funky. And Kinjack Ben, thank you, I appreciate that. But of course, We have to share here. That's the goal. We share. That's why people come on the panel. They share their thoughts, their conversations, and good morning, Carlo. He says, hi, hope everyone is as well as can be. Kayla Peroga.
Hail Karoga.
JP's.
To open windows. What?
Who made that background for you?
I did.
Cool.
Why?
The reason I ask is that I may need some assistance doing something similar. And knowing that somebody else knows how to do it, huh?
It was all done with OBS.
I hate OBS.
I hated it too until I started messing around, and I picked all this up, I would say, within an afternoon. It's a simple.
And that's a fairly simple
yeah
background, Cap. You could do that with just 10-minute video lesson on YouTube.
Which is basically what I did, really. And asked a few questions here and there of Valeria.
My problem is there's too many.
The time consuming is getting those pictures
I would
together.
have to fuck with it more.
Oh, most of those pictures are already off my hard drive, so.
I would have to fuck with it more. The pictures would need to be more
you'd want them to blend into each other.
Well, number one, I would want them to blend into each other, but I would want them to be the same size.
Well, yeah, that starts to become details then.
Yeah, and that's where I just like.
And good morning, thought process. How are you today? And thank you, Carlo. I happen to agree. OBS, original bullshit. And good afternoon, Yitza. Yes, I've had enough coffee that I'm able to
say his name.
Say the correct time of day to somebody from Europe.
Oh, of course. It's a higher resolution. All I have to do is make it bigger.
Well, I'm sure that there's some out there, but yeah, kind of a bit fine. And I can't quite make it out. Is that a Tim Hortons cup?
Yes, it is. Of course.
Cruisy's Canadian.
Yep.
I find it funny. First I saw Picard, then I saw a couple of ladies, then my eyes focuses in on the Tim Hortons cup.
Oh yes, Bird. Somebody.
And now that's the only thing my eye focuses on.
Somebody told me to show you this thing that I found. So I'm going to show it to you right now.
Okay. That is quite weird.
Where were we? that somehow that video somehow showed up yesterday, and yeah, it was suggested that you should see that. Not sure how, but why?
I think somebody thinks I'm a pervert, but clearly I'm not, because that was perverted, not me.
And there's everybody writing their YouTube letters now.
Actually, if the cat wrote Dear Bob, I might listen. Because at this point, it's like, oh, I'm watching, da, 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 da. And that's time for Dear Bob. Okay, bye. But I am trying to be anyway, polite and letting people that I know that I'm leaving. So you don't have all these at Captain Jack. What do you think of that one? Don't care. They're not listening. Not listening, not watching.
Bird.
Once they do that, there's nothing you can do to stop it.
You allow a woman to stab you.
It's not like, hey, it doesn't matter what she looks like or what they look like. They just let it happen regardless of how ridiculous it would be. In woke gaming.
Now, yes, I understand this is a nitpick, and I will. I think every picture, except the Tim Hortons, by the way, should be in black and white, or grayscale, I should say.
Oh, I could definitely do that. There's the one in Marilyn Monroe there that's been, I'm pretty sure it was colorized.
That would also add more symmetry to the pictures, because then, yeah. But then the Tim Hortons would be the. And let's see here. Okay. Dear Bob, I think we need to take a step back when we get mad. Oh, yeah, that's true. What do you think, Bob?
Yeah, we should take a step back when we get mad. That's good advice. I mean, it's easy advice to give, hard advice to follow.
Oh, yeah.
Because usually when you get mad is when you want to run right into the fight and shoot somebody. Ah! But then you can't find them, and you're like, what the fuck? Maybe the flag will just pop up in front of me. Now they're shooting me again. Now
Yeah.
I'm more mad.
And
never
Carlo
stops.
follows up with, Dear Bob, I think I got too mad. Now I'm hanging on the edge of the cliff. Advice.
Now I'm leaving the game.
Advertisement.
Now I'm leaving the game because I got mad. I'm going to take a step back. And I realized, fuck, I can't take any steps. Ah, it just makes me more mad. Oh, I've gone in a circle.
This is Bird when he plays the game.
Daily challenges. What can we
Oh
choose?
yeah, that's true.
Eh,
Are those candy computers?
No, those are apples.
Oh, Apple. Look,
It's either an apple or a Mac. Either way, it's the same one.
it's either an apple or a Mac. I remember when they used to be different.
yeah.
You could get either apples or Apple Macs. When I had the
And
choice, I could buy a Mac Classic or an Apple 2GS. Guess which one I got?
Probably
The
the
2GS.
2GS. Yeah.
Exactly,
Yeah.
because it was fucking superior.
well, I can tell you, the answer to that is definitively no, because number one, I've already told Bird if I write a Dear Bob, I will tell him prior to that. And I don't think I told him anything. Did I? No, I didn't.
As I said when I read it, I said, I'm sure this is not the real capture track.
And let's see, once more into the fray. Come on, you can pop up there, please. Once more into the fray, into the good fight. It's the last good fight I'll ever know. Live and die this day. Live and die this day. Brother of Grandma. Yeah.
I need a few minutes, Cap, but I'm not going
Oh, yeah.
to sleep.
Wow.
Sorry.
Just so you know.
Hey, you want me to read it? I'll ruin it, okay? But it's kind of a downer. And Mountains of Elysium says, greetings, Captain Trek and fellow nerds.
Yeah,
And
that's not a bad.
okay.
Hey, Mountains.
Who said those old boxy Apple computers were ugly as hell? How did Apple survive after producing such a thing? Well, at the time, they were actually seen as, dear God, stylish.
Yeah, because everything boxy was stylish back then.
And yes, Carlos, thank you. Riddle me this, riddle me that. Is afraid of the big bad batch. And I concur. I concur with you. Gets fuck Apple. Unless they want to sponsor me, in which case you'll have to give me a new Apple computer every year, minimum. Most up to date. You have to do all the transfers for me.
Not asking much, are you?
Hey, they want my endorsement. They better know my price. I'll donate the used ones to good cause. But yeah, one new one each year.
I'll just take $1 million.
Oh, I'm not that's not including the monetary endorsement. That's the side stuff. Monetary. Oh, I'll go simple. $100K a year. Cash.
Off the books, right?
It could be on the books. That's fine. But if I'm going to sell myself, it sure as fuck is going to be for good money. And I mean, damn good money. One where I could actually live on my own. These kids. You are trying my bed, but not me. So, hey, kids, muting now.
Tell them to go play outside. By myself.
You can sing it. You can sing it.
I can sing what?
Nice scene from The Crow.
Finally, somebody with taste.
Come on, that's one of the most iconic images from the movie.
No, there's even more iconic ones. Like when he's standing in the burnt out apartment and proceeds to strum the guitar.
Yeah, that was pretty badass.
Or else when he goes upside down on the ledge and like jumps out the window.
Is that gasoline I smell?
Fire it up! Fire it up!
It's not a good day to be a bad guy, is it?
And good morning, NB. Carlos said he'd sell himself for pizza and donuts. Well, for a pizza. A pizza. No. See,
Wait. You said pizza and donuts?
A pizza and donuts. No. If you're gonna sell yourself, it better be for like a lifetime supply of pizza and donuts, as well as your beverage of choice. Mine, of course, would be coffee.
Yeah, just remember, JPs, it can't rain all the time.
No, it can't.
Which, by the way, I currently drink Folgers coffee. Anyone who would like to give me an endorsement, however, I'll switch brands. I'm not above selling myself. I don't care. I don't care. I'll be honest. I'll be truthful. But,
it would depend on the product.
For an endorsement, yeah.
Maybe you're...
No, there are certain products I would not. No.
Pfizer comes up. I'm not going to continue with that thought.
Uh-huh.
Great, Captain. I just got off the phone with Gwyneth Paltrow. She's got a new coffee coming out. She needs
Cool.
somebody to endorse it.
As long as it doesn't
It's a
smell
very
like the gooch.
special coffee.
Oh, Lord. What kind of coffee is this?
It's Essence of Gwyneth coffee.
Oh,
It's made by the same candle making technology.
oh my.
I knew he was going to go there as soon as he said Gwyneth Paltrow.
Ugh.
The coffee is basically brewed inside her first, and then you complete the process in your home brewing.
Brewed?
So we can count you in as a supporter. You'll drink it on camera and give your honest opinion. That's going to be positive.
Let me put it to you this way. I will consume anything that is consumable.
Oh, it's consumable. But for
Okay.
legal reasons, the tasting will occur in international waters. We will be videoing this event on a private island we recently purchased for the cheap in the Caribbean. But the actual tasting and ingestion of the coffee will happen on a yacht in international waters.
Ah,
So it'll be a VIP experience.
VIP. Okay.
Yes.
Heavy on the P.
Do you have any allergies to yeast?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's very important. We know that first.
What, is she baking a bread?
Just say it depends on which batch we give you. Some are yeastier than others. And we also have our special once a month cherry flavor.
Oh my God. No.
It's not actually
No.
cherry
No.
flavored. It just looks like it should be.
Holy.
Who's wheezing? Is that you, Cap?
It's me.
Oops, it looks like we lost bird.
JP's. Sound like me the other day when I had my laugh attack for like a good couple of minutes.
Oh, my eyes, I can't see.
I think we got disconnected. It must be the signal from international waters. It's hard to keep an internet connection in the middle of the
G
ocean.
signal.
What are you running, G3 over there in Caroga still?
I say we're on a yacht outside any political boundary recognized.
Yeah, Mountains, I would agree. Darth Wheezy does have some competition now. Cap, I came across I was checking on Twitter just for fun and came across this thing about vaccinations. Don't you know? Came across this one guy who says you have a responsibility to get the shot. I'm like, I don't have a responsibility to you for shit. I don't know you a damn thing. So tired of people telling me I have a responsibility to do that. Really? Says who? Last time I checked, I'm responsible for taking care of my own self. Sure as fuck nobody else is doing it. Oh, did that new What If drop today?
Required.
Only thing we have to do is pay taxes and die.
I don't know.
Did that new What If drop today? Was that drop on Wednesdays? Or is that
I don't know.
I don't know.
You
tell me, Bird, you're watching Lower Decks. When does that come on?
That's tomorrow.
Okay.
So it'll be late tonight. So tomorrow morning.
Okay. No, if I'm not mistaken, I swear I thought I saw that they have both episodes on YouTube right now.
Of Lower Decks?
Yeah.
They might. They usually put the first episode of the season on YouTube. Now, considering how terrible the first episode was and how great the second episode was, in my opinion,
no.
I wouldn't be surprised if they did put the second. But the first usually goes up.
The first was trash. The second was marginally better. And it actually could have been even better, but they put some of the stupid ass tropes in again. So yeah. Yeah, I generously gave it a 4
out of 5.
That would be fucking generous of me.
JP's, did you get to see The Crow in theater?
Maybe. I can't remember.
I'm pretty sure I got to. I'm fairly confident I did go see that movie in theaters.
Everybody's back. I got it on VHS and watched it like every other day. So.
Yeah, it is definitely one of my favorite gems of that time. I actually think it was one of the first movies I actually bought the soundtrack to. I didn't buy soundtracks very often, but I know I bought the Crow soundtrack, and I know I bought the first Mortal Kombat movie soundtrack. Those are the only 2 soundtracks I really remember ever buying. Oh, Cap, I was at the gas station this morning before I got back, and one of my favorite songs came on. Huey Lewis and the News came on, and it was the song from, Power of Love. And I'm like, anytime I hear that song, I start thinking Back to the Future.
Yep. And Richie Poole saw the first episode of season 2 on YouTube the other day.
Okay. So maybe they just dropped the first episode.
Carlos says Lower Decks is definitely the best of New Trek. Yeah, that's setting the bar fucking low. You may trip on
it. No, Cap, you can't trip on it. That damn bar's below sea level right now. In my short time, I've come to understand nobody hates Star Trek more than Star Trek fans. No, that's not true. We love Star Trek. But we haven't seen Star Trek since 2005.
Correct.
I think it just goes with passion. You can't hate something you don't care about. Like, I don't hate The Bachelor. I just couldn't give a shit about The Bachelor. The only way you hate something is if you already have a strong emotion connection with it. It's got to betray you.
Hence why Doctor Who, Star Trek, and Star Wars have got a severe divide in the fandom. Because they took something we loved, something we were very passionate about, and went and decided to screw with the formula. You know, I'm sorry, but the screwing with this formula was like screwing with the Coke back in the 80s. It just doesn't work.
That's exactly what I was thinking about.
Newfound Glory did a Janeway's Joe Coffee for. Which song is that? The song is it the song Alexander was talking about, Carlo? Hello. Yeah, I don't think we're just very, very passionate about it, and we're passionate about Star Wars. We're passionate about Star Trek. Some of us are very passionate about Doctor Who.
And I will agree, it's that Janeway was it's inconsistently written. Yeah.
Oh, Carlo, thank you. Power of Love. Gotcha. Yes, I think, what is it we said right around the first 3 seasons? I think it was like halfway through season 3 was when she started to, it seemed like they found her consistency.
No, they still didn't. They never really did. It just. Because even the last episode, that Admiral Janeway, no, I'm sorry. Did not really fit in with the whole.
Somebody help me out here with this one. I'm just curious. Do we know what rank Picard was in this first season of Picard? I know he's a retired admiral, but we don't necessarily get told, I guess, what level of admiral he was.
Good question. Don't know.
Yeah, thanks to us. Well, I did see the trailer for season 2, and one of the things I saw in the one part is Picard in a Starfleet uniform, and at first it almost looked like it was a captain's uniform. Then you realize it's got the bar going over it, so he looks like he's a fleet admiral.
Do you think they know about or care about such minutiae?
No.
No, honestly, no, I don't. I think if they cared about details, they would have not copied and pasted the same freaking Romulan and Federation starship and then say we got 200 of them.
No.
Whoever looked best from the costume room that day.
I'm not sure how, but okay. I will accept that you believe that Picard is the best of current Trek.
I had a guy, I guess he was talking about Dave Filoni, and he goes, if you think Dave Filoni's going to save Star Wars, you're an idiot. I said, okay, I guess I'm an idiot. I actually typed that back. He sent me a few articles and stuff, and I was kind of like, okay. And yeah, I got something from a video from 2016. I'm like, I watched that. I don't quite agree with his concept, but I didn't find it belittling. No new Star Trek is good Star Trek, Kindak. Now, unfortunately, Bird of Prey 5, I think, would disagree with you.
What was it? No new Star Trek is good Star Trek?
Yeah.
No, I think I could agree with that. I would gladly sever all Star Trek that has been made since 2005 to get rid of it all. The 2 or 3 episodes of Lower Decks that weren't complete crap, I won't miss.
Exactly.
I like that. To search for data. Yeah, that kind of pretty much was what it was. Although I'm still, like I said, I'm still trying to figure out. There was one thing that just made no sense. One thing. Fuck, we're talking about Picard. A couple main points I couldn't understand is one, how is it all of a sudden out of the blue we find out Soon had a kid? And number 2, if he made all those androids, why the hell couldn't he give Data a new body?
You're expecting logic and reason, and
In Star Trek, yes.
no from these idiots.
No, yeah, I mean, sorry, if I wanted sci-fi like Red Dwarf, I'd watch Red Dwarf and know what I'm getting.
Of course, there are people like, well, blah blah blah. Look, if they took the Star Trek name off of it, changed the settings a little bit,
it'd be a mediocre.
I wouldn't give a shit.
It'd just be a mediocre sci-fi show.
It's like, show I won't watch because I don't care. The fact that it's got Star Trek in the name, yeah, it changes things up.
Sorry about that. Yitza, I've heard a lot of good things about space battleship Yamato.
And, I hope he does. I hope he does.
I had there's another channel, they're reviewing one of my favorite shows from back in the 90s, and actually the first time I experienced the wonderful world of Fox taking a good show and canceling it. And that was Space Above and Beyond.
Never watched it.
It came out in the mid-90s. I think it was 94. It was on Fox. It was actually pretty damn popular, and it ran for 20 episodes, and then I was waiting until September for it to come back on, and then December finally rolls around, and that's when I finally realized that I'm looking at the TV guide and everything. The show's not back. That's when I finally found out it was, finally realized I guess it's not coming back.
Yeah, there have been shows I've seen before. It's like, okay, why was this canceled? I mean,
yes,
it wasn't. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was saying Mountains of Elysium. Yeah, Space Above and Beyond. Actually, the best episode, I think, is The Angriest Angel. I actually was watching the pilot because the channel was talking about it. And I was watching, and I was just like, I want to watch the pilot again. I was watching, I was like, yep. And I was amazed at how much I remembered from it. Maybe.
And there is potentially some truth in that. However, yeah, let me put it to you this way. There were things going on at the time that Star Trek was originally airing that weren't being discussed in the original series. But today, they feel they have to put today's political agenda into Star Trek. That's where the difference is.
Richie Poole, you can actually find it on YouTube. You can actually find the entire series on YouTube. Because that's where I actually watched the pilot the other day. Yes, Ken Jack. Yes, Ken Jack. Then I do remember that episode of Family Guy. Did you guys ever see that episode of Family Guy when they were brought back? Peter comes in and says, "We've been canceled." And then they start naming all the shows that came on afterwards that Fox canceled.
Yeah.
What was it he said? Oh, Ken Jack Ben mentioned Dark Angel. Yes, Dark Angel was, oh, God, yeah. That was my first experience in Jessica Alba. And, dude, she's still in my top 5. Especially when she was doing Sin City. Whew, damn.
I never really liked Dark Angel. Couldn't get into it.
One I really enjoyed that they canceled too was Dollhouse. That was pretty damn good.
I have no idea. Never heard of it. So, yeah.
Well, Dollhouse was basically, the concept was it had the girl who, again, I can never pronounce her name. She was the one who played Faith on Buffy and Angel. And the point of the show is you basically give up your body for like 5 years. And what they do is they implant different things in your mind and you take on different personalities.
No.
And then you go back to being kind of a blank template. And then after the timeline, you get your memories back and you get paid and you leave.
Fuck that.
Yeah, Dollhouse was great. Dollhouse was different. It was, and that was the problem. It was a unique show that had a different premise, and so of course, Fox canceled it. Well, at least they gave it a second season, but then they canceled it after that. I'm going to have to agree with Richie on that one. I used to say the same thing. I don't so much think the problem with Fox is their marketing for great shows that they canceled. It's just their marketing advertising for these shows sucked.
Yeah.
I mean, their first mistake with Firefly is they didn't start with the pilot. The first episode they did was the train job. The second episode.
Yeah, I have to agree with you, Professor. Yeah. Discovery is utter garbage. Just like the replicated apple, not bad for shit.
I still can't believe there was a guy trying to compare Orville as a live-action Lower Decks. I couldn't figure that one out. I'm like, have you watched the same show I've watched?
Well, they're trying to do that. They're trying to make a Lower Decks an animated Orville.
Yes.
And no, they're going off of the first few episodes, which were really wacky and zany, and no, fuck no.
Oh, mountains. I remember the show. I don't think I ever watched it, though. I remember hearing about it, but I don't remember ever watching Dark Skies.
Yep, that was a good show.
I need to watch that. I don't know how, but watch that.
Oh man, I haven't. I like I said, I remember the name, but I don't think I ever saw the show. I did watch Millennium.
See, that's yes, the first episode of Orville, but that was the basis for like 5 out of the 10 original season episodes for Lower Decks or Lower Standards.
The first couple episodes, you could see some of the comedy may have been in a forced area, but over the time, the show, it became, more naturally organic.
Yeah, by the 7th episode. Oh, you're talking Orville, not
yeah, I'm talking Orville. I'm not talking Lower Decks.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, it became more organic early on in Lower Decks.
And then season 2, it just felt natural to the show now. It had really taken, they'd really naturally formed it into the show.
Well, it wasn't, they weren't trying to be funny.
Well, it's like that first episode. I'll be the first one to say I thought some people thought this was silly when Lamar goes, can we have a soda in the bridge? And some people thought that was hilarious. I was like, no, that's actually a legitimate question. I knew bosses who would let people have soda at their desk, and some bosses would not allow any drinks at our desks.
And good afternoon to the Random Menace.
And greetings from the future. I have about 15 minutes time.
Yes.
But I find this discussion very interesting. So I was like, okay, I can jump on for a few minutes. So why not? Yeah, actually, the Orville as of episode 2, and especially like episode, I don't know which one was about a girl. I think either episode 2 or 3. It went a completely different way, and it's and you cannot compare it with Lower Decks at all.
Mm-mm.
It's the show is its own beast, and it became literally what we wanted all Star Trek to become. Maybe it would be a perfect Star Trek show, tuned down a little bit the humor from certain scenes, like when Gordon got his leg cut off, or this type of stuff. If this kind of humor wasn't there,
right,
it would be just a perfect Star Trek show, or the whole holodeck shows, like with Borders, the first episode of season 2, that was just hilariously funny, but it wouldn't work within the Star Trek concept. But otherwise, it would be the perfect Star Trek, I have to say. This is how I see it. And the discussion generally about which of the Star Trek current Star Trek shows is the best. As I said in the chat, everything is a very subjective opinion, and everybody can have their own opinions, which is completely fine. Like Professor said there, that he likes the Picard the most from the 3 shows. I would have to say it's my least favorite show, for example. And Discovery is, it's like when I say that Discovery or Picard, which is your favorite show, it's literally like comparing two piles of crap.
Yeah.
Which one do you like? Which one do you like more? So, I would at the moment I would have to go with Discovery. That has slightly the upper hand, but let's see what season 2 of Picard will bring. I have no idea. I always say glass half full, but I doubt it will be. It will be great.
Oh, come on, Joseph! I saw you post on YouTube on that guy's video about season 2.
And good morning, Joe Sasker.
That I hope that it's going to be good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm genuine, and that's my genuine opinion. I don't want Star Trek to be a failure. I don't want it to be a failure. I really hope it's going to be good. But at the moment, they didn't convince me at all, because the only 3 characters that I could say that I liked somehow on Picard were the 2 rescued Romulans, Shaban, and what's the other one that worked on Chateau Picard. Those were like very good characters. I like them really much, and I like Rios, the captain of the ship. Yeah, but otherwise, nothing compelling about it. And the problem is that I could find probably 5 minutes of the whole show with certain scenes where I say, okay, this is the real track, or this is what I really liked about it. And having like 5 minutes of highlights where I would say, okay, this is really something, is not enough to say that it is a good show. And on Discovery, there are certain characters that I really like.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, definitely Michael Burnham is not on the list.
Oh,
but
surprising.
Which is not surprising, I think. And yeah, honestly,
I think season 2 of Picard will hold much better things. Especially,
you know what? If they listened just to a little bit of feedback, and if they did, and there were no reports from the background. I'm not the correct person here to talk about it, because I didn't read about what's happening behind the scenes. But in general, I haven't heard anything like changing of showrunners or arguments in the writers' room or something. So that one gives me hope that there will be some consistency in the show.
Hopefully, yes.
And doesn't matter how they start. I hope they will be able to give us a good finish. And since they are filming like season 2 and 3,
simultaneously.
Simultaneously, yeah. Thank you very much. It could that can only mean that they have something like a consistent story, which is something that was completely missed in season 1 of Picard.
Is that confirmed that they?
Yes.
Yes, that's officially confirmed that they are filming season 2 and 3, basically one after another. Yeah. Yeah, probably on the one side, I understand they are afraid that Patrick Stewart might die before they finish season 3 or something. But all jokes aside, it could mean that they have at least a consistent story for each season. Maybe it's an overarching story that goes over 2 seasons, because what is confirmed that Q will appear at least in 6 episodes of season 2.
Yep.
This is one of those things that are already confirmed. So it's not only like a cameo for 5 minutes. So which gives me hope. On the other hand, I'm as well afraid that they will basically do Tapestry / All Good Things as a season-long arc, because those were basically those 2 stories where Q messed up the timeline just to do something. So but you know what? If they should steal from somebody, they should steal from themselves, and they should steal from the good episodes they had.
Yeah.
And Tapestry and All Good Things were really, really good episodes. So why not?
Well, there's the speculation that Q would come back, talk to Picard, and end up basically removing any confrontation with the Borg.
Carlos says here, sorry, NB.
I was saying I did a video on that about what if he did erase the events of Q Who. Damn, how long was that video I did? I really tried to think a lot. I mean, it would affect TNG. It would affect DS9 in many ways. It would affect both the first 2 Star Trek Next Generation movies and
completely Voyager. Voyager completely.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I was getting there. Okay. Voyager would be totally. Well, think about this. This was one thing I said. If we hadn't seen the Borg in Q Who, there'd be no Defiant. That was one thing, because the Defiant was designed to build it. A lot of those smaller craft ships that were made, like the Steamrunner class and the Intrepid class, the smaller, more modular ones, probably wouldn't have been designed. So pretty good chance the Dominion War would have had a very different kind of outcome without those ships.
Just when you think about it, there would be basically, without it, we wouldn't have episodes like Hugh, and there would be no plot for season 1 of Picard at all. There would be Cisco's wife would be still alive.
Yep.
Voyager would have been completely lost.
Voyager, if they got lost in the Delta Quadrant, they would be assimilated like nothing. Immediately, and that's the end of the story. Yeah.
Well, not really, because then the Borg would know of humans, and they would make a beeline for Sector 001.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if that's part of it. I mean, you could say Voyager was still Voyager's in the Delta Quadrant. It got picked up by them. They probably would have picked up the Equinox too at some point. They probably would have
most probably. So definitely, the story basically it would influence everything. Annika Hansen would never be assimilated.
No.
No, because her parents would have no reason to go follow the Borg, because they would have had no knowledge of Borg.
Yeah. So
yeah, there are. I mean, you take out Q Hugh, you take out a lot
of stuff. Yeah,
a lot of canon.
A lot of canon, definitely. And what did I want to say? Basically, yeah, Annika Hansen. Where did I want to go with my? I lost the thought. Anyway, but yeah, definitely. They will show us something like this. Popcast did a great video about the possibilities what they could do with season 2 of Picard, and it was like, when I listened to it, my comment on their video was if Alex Kurtzman doesn't go the way they suggested, I want to slap him. Because and comments below my comments were like, I want to slap him just because, Yeah.
But yeah, that video was rather good and informative.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes I don't agree necessarily with everything they say, but
No.
this video, but they have very good videos, and I can definitely. Richie says Annika was assimilated long before Q Who.
Yeah.
Richie, was she?
Mhm.
This is something where the timeline is really wonky, just because when you think about it, if Annika was assimilated before Q Who, then shows like then the episodes like Raven would make no sense on the Voyager, because basically there you learn that Annika's parents went studying the Borg because we knew about the Borg. They basically left whatever the institute was that they were working for just to go and study the Borg.
Yeah, and that Borg that they knew of were the ones that were frozen in the Arctic Circle from the movie.
But
those were destroyed by Those were destroyed by the Enterprise.
Yeah, but the problem is, okay, this is once again we have to go to the year 2001, I think, when the first season of Enterprise aired, where they had the episode.
Yes.
What yeah. So was it those Borg they were studying, because that episode didn't exist when the episode Raven was filmed. So that's why I say it's retconning. You know,
Yeah.
we are retconning here all the stories. But the thing is, the timeline wouldn't fit, or would it? How old was Annika when she was assimilated? Something like 6, 7,
5, 6. Yeah,
5,
I don't remember.
6.
Yeah.
So between 5 and 7. Yeah, and Q Who was in the second. Q Who was second season.
She was assimilated on her birthday. I can't remember if it was
or
her fifth or
first
sixth birthday. Yeah.
So if it was first, I'm not sure if Q Who was first or second season, but basically 88, and Voyager was filmed in. And we are talking about Annika Hansen in season 3 of Voyager, which means somewhere mid 90s, 98 maybe. So it's 10 years. So Annika would have to be something like 16, 17 tops, which she was older. So the timeline is really, really wonky.
Yeah.
Professor Brainy Spec says here second season. Yeah. So
according to this, according to what I'm reading on Memory Alpha, Annika was assimilated in 2356. Q Who in universe is 2365. So yeah, that does kind of screw up the timeline there.
Yeah.
And she was in a maturation chamber for 5 years. So she came out of the maturation chamber in 2361. So 4 years before the events of Q Who.
Which makes no freaking sense.
Well, neither does
it would make sense only if you retconned the things that happened on the Enterprise in Regeneration. In that episode, that would be the possibility. But the problem is the Hansons were talking about the Borg, and when you think about the episode Regeneration, the name Borg was never mentioned in that episode. Never. So they didn't know what race they were, and they just disappeared, basically. Mm-hmm. So
okay, let's think about this. Okay, you're probably right. I have to rewatch the episode, but I think you're right. I don't recall the name Borg ever being said by them. So they were those what you called eccentric fringe kind of scientists. So they kind of did things the Federation didn't approve of, and I think it was they went out and they went to do their own exploring. Yeah, okay, they came across the Borg ship. That's not unreal. Now, why didn't the Borg come to Sector 001? Well, you've got 2 scientists and a kid. So they probably weren't exactly the, okay, they got their science, they got their stuff, they know about maybe some about the Federation Starfleet. They probably don't have as much information as they would if, say, they assimilated a Starfleet officer or like a captain and stuff. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, I mean, if they go based on the technology that the Hansons had, like, yeah, these people really aren't advanced enough to really give a shit about. But then again, the Borg were inconsistent there as well. So,
Well, what about, okay, going back to Voyager here too, if there's no Q-Who, then there's no Voyager to help them. Even if the Voyager's been assimilated, that doesn't mean that's going to necessarily help them fight off the species 8472.
Yeah, fact. This is, and I'm reading here the chat what Richie and Carlo are saying. Q did not make the Borg aware of the Federation. The Borg already knew about them and were on the way. But the Federation didn't know about the Borg, even if this was the fact.
Mm-hmm.
And especially the name, as I said, the Hansons were on the way looking for the Borg. And the question is, how did they even get to? Where were they assimilated? Were they assimilated in the beta quadrant or somewhere else?
Give me a second. I've still got it up here. Let me take a look.
This is as well the question. Where were they assimilated? Because definitely not in the delta quadrant.
No, it'd have to be. Let me check.
Because Richie says the Borg scooped up the border colony near the neutral zone.
Hello,
I love this type of discussions.
Star Trek. You guys are talking about Star Trek, and okay, they found the Barzan wormhole. That's how they got to the Delta Quadrant.
So they ended up in the Delta Quadrant.
Yes, because of the Barzan wormhole. No, it wasn't the Barzan wormhole. It was one of the conduits, transwarp conduit. They followed a Borg ship through a transwarp conduit.
Okay. Can you mute the stream because?
Yeah.
Echo.
Hold on. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, perfect.
That's my Bluetooth speaker.
Yeah.
But they followed the Borg ship through the transwarp conduit. That in the episode Raven, they show all of this.
Yeah. Okay. So
and they were not looking for the Borg. They came upon the Borg in their travels. See, they're and they started studying them because they're like anthropologists.
Okay, you know what? I will watch the Raven. I will watch the Raven because yeah, why not?
And 7 of 9 was artificially aged in a maturation chamber when she was taken by the Borg. And she spent 18 years as a Borg drone.
18 years. So it definitely had to be before Q-Who, yeah.
And it's definitely before Q-Who. See? But the Borg already knew, they already knew about Starfleet and what Starfleet would become because of the events that happened in Enterprise and First Contact. I think that interplexing beacon had already worked for them, even way back when. Worf didn't destroy it before it sent off its message.
Yeah. So actually, Regeneration, the episode from Enterprise, basically ties up loose
they
ends.
even sent off the message. They even sent off the message then. In that episode, Archer says in his final log of that episode.
Yes, I remember that episode. Yeah. That there was a message sent somewhere in the depth of the Delta Quadrant. Yeah.
So they already knew about the Federation, and Q Q introducing the Borg to the Federation to the Borg was just so he could humiliate Picard. It had no other no other reason than that.
Yeah, because Picard said that they are ready for everything, and Q just showed them that, wrong.
Just so he could humiliate them. And Picard wasn't ready for it. He wasn't ready for it at all. Even way back when, he makes the wrong choice and sends Q back to the Borg when he should have used them to destroy the Borg. He was always treating the Borg as if they were worthwhile, or that they were eventually going to be cool with the Borg.
Yeah.
So I was reading up on this. On this here. So the Hansons deviated from their flight plan, disobeyed orders to return, and crossed the Romulan neutral zone. And if I'm not mistaken, most of the Romulan area is in the Beta Quadrant. Isn't most of the Romulan Empire in the Beta Quadrant? Parts of it are in the Alpha, but most of it.
Yeah, they have. I do believe that they have borders with. They share a border with Vulcans. They share a border with Vulcans. They share a border with Klingons, and the Andorians.
Yeah.
Oh, here you go. I'll send. Cap, I'm gonna put remember that stellar cartography map I showed you a long time ago?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, hey, I put it in the private chat. Let these guys get so they can take a look at it. It's really good, guys.
Okay, I gotta go. My phone's overheating, but I had to come in here. You guys are talking.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That was great. I love this type of discussions. Yeah.
So,
all right.
So
Goodbye.
yes, he's right though. They entered the Romulan. They were in the Romulan. They crossed the Romulan neutral zone. They were in the area for about 8 months. They trailed a cube and they followed it through a transwarp conduit, and it's how they ended up in the Delta Quadrant.
Okay, makes sense.
Okay.
So they were assimilated in the Delta Quadrant. They just followed them through transwarp conduit to get there. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, that makes yeah. It's been so long since I've seen that episode, and it's just. I mean, we gotta admit there are continuity errors in Star Trek. There's just no way around it.
Hell, I make fun of them.
I do too. Well, one of my most loved episodes is also the one I make fun of the most, and that's the one where Ro and LaForge are phased out.
Oh yeah. Oh God.
I love that. I love that episode. I really do. But there's so much that I just make fun of about that episode. Let's see. They got shadows. They're able to walk. Shouldn't they be floating in space by now? No, it's just I love the episode. Don't get me wrong. I think it's fantastic. It's just it's one of those ones that's just my absolute fun. It's my favorite to nitpick.
Let's see here. They should have gone through the decks, but they can go through walls, but they don't go through floors. Sure, why not? Does that make sense? Never.
Actually, if you look at Richie Poole brings up a good point here too about the Battle of Wolf 359. If it hadn't been even, and I hate to say it, they lost 11,000 people. One of them being Sisko's wife, but that was really when they realized they need to rethink their ships. Because after that's when they started thinking about things like the Intrepid class, the Defiant class, the Steamrunner class, the Akira class. Yeah, I can jump in. I'm glad you came up and brought that up. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love these discussions because these are the kind of these aren't the bitch sessions. These are the okay. We don't all remember. Just because we're fans of Star doesn't mean we remember every single nuance about every single episode from every single series. Some of us remember some series better than others.
Carlos says, "Can't wait for the Neuralink to be finished by Elon Musk." Yeah, yeah. This is how we will be Borgified. Actually, you know what? If that one reaches the potential he wants it to reach, it could be actually great for people like Bert, for example. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Because he wants to reconnect.
I'm not putting in any neural link. Fuck that.
Even if you could walk because of it?
Dude, it's not going to make me walk. It's just going to put ads in my brain.
That's the whole idea of the Neuralink. And yeah, you could then pay, instead of YouTube Premium, you could pay Neuralink Premium without ads. Can you imagine you would wake up every hour in the middle of the night just because an ad is playing in your head? Oh, man.
Or, please wait. You're currently updating your...
You're driving on a highway and your Neuralink starts updating because you postponed the update 3 times and it doesn't allow to postpone it anymore. Oh no! But the whole idea making new neural pathways in your brain sounds actually crazy. Sounds actually crazy. But if it's somehow possible for people who are really messed up, why not? You know,
like it could fix a lot of stuff.
Yeah. The Mountain says the first ad Bert would have on his link: Gwyneth Paltrow coffee. And honestly, I don't know about this the ad about Gwyneth Paltrow coffee at all. But when I see the name, I can only imagine it's something completely nuts.
Well, he brought it up as a potential sponsor for me.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, the potential sponsor for you could be right now Gwyneth Paltrow's candles. You know, those
the candles.
Yeah.
The crotch sniffing candles.
Yeah. The vagina scented candles. Yeah, exactly.
I don't want those, thank you.
I want to buy one just to see what it smells like.
Why does your house smell like an old sea? Oh, must be the candles. Essence of Gwyneth, yeah, exactly.
It's either that or the old sea pirate that we have.
Yeah, I wonder what your mom would say to that scent of candle.
I can ask her. She went for.
What is this shit?
She went for shopping right now. She's visiting. She's visiting this week. So but she went for she was like, I'm bored. I'm going grocery shopping. I was like, okay, go. So she went out. So yeah.
Should have asked her to pick up a candle on the way out.
Oh my god! Oh, really, JP? Really?
Yep.
Can you imagine something like a Walmart shelf filled with this type of candles?
See a bunch of dirty old men sniffing them.
Hey Cap, I'm sharing a picture from Facebook I just uploaded.
Oh, nice! First day of school as a teacher. Nice. What grades is she teaching?
She's teaching 3rd and 4th.
3rd and 4th. Okay.
Yeah, she has 9 students. I believe 5 are 3rd grade, 4 are 4th grade.
Oh, it's a mixed class. Okay.
Yeah, she's it's a private Christian school.
Mm-hmm.
It's a small school. It only has about, right now, it only has about 70 students.
Oh, really tiny school. Good morning, Darius. Or as I usually say,
Yeet.
Guten Tag, Herr Baron.
Yeah, Madam Geek's going to be, they're actually starting school. This school starts a few days, for the first few days, they started a little later in the day. So they actually don't start school till 10.
Ah, and good morning, Darius. Good morning. And good morning, brightest day. Again, enjoyed listening to you read. Always nice. Thank you.
Okay, Captain, I am out for the day.
Okay, cigarette out?
No, because I'm not going to bed yet.
Cigarette out. It's unhealthy.
Okay, well.
Okay, if
I'm
you,
gonna be
I know.
asked,
If you,
before
Joseph,
you
I
go
know.
to bed, make sure your fucking cigarette's out.
My fucking cigarette. Okay. I'll put the cigarette out and light the crotch candle. I swear, I'm going to order one and I'll take a picture of me with it.
I remember when you used to be able to buy those candy cigarettes.
Okay, you guys take it easy.
You too.
Bye.
Take care, bud. Yeah, Madam Geek's going to head out in about 20 minutes, head up to the school.
It costs £58. So is it what, $70 the candle?
That's it.
What the hell kind of candle is it?
Crotch candle.
I don't know, but this is just no.
Oh, what happened?
What?
Where'd he go?
Lost Joseph.
Ah, okay. Really?
I got to show you this one, Cap. This is just funny. It's just freaking funny.
Kicked himself out. Good job, Yosef.
Oh, shit. How many times have I done that? I think I lost count.
Too many. In fact, there were a few times I was accused of kicking you. It's like, I'm not even didn't even have my hand on the mouse. Like, where the hell did he go?
Yeah, I'm back. I wanted to close the scented candle tab, and I just clicked on the X.
Yeah, oh yeah,
so
that myself.
Yeah.
Oh, that was so funny. I was doing something. I was responding to something at Live at the Love Shack, and he made the comment. He goes, "You've got the beard. Just wear a turban on your head. Then people won't say anything to you because they'll be afraid that they might insult you." I was like, "Damn, that might work." Not that I'm gonna do it, but it's still. I thought it was funny.
If it comes from Live at the Love Shack, you know that it is absolute. Oh my God, wrong. But yeah. Because
I saw something. I saw an article that apparently, I guess on Titans, the TV show Titans, I haven't seen it. Apparently, the Batman, the guy they brought in from Batman, is one of the guys from Game of Thrones, and I guess he's being portrayed as kind of Frank Miller's all-star Batman, which is not a very good, which is not Frank Miller's best work.
I'm just reading here an article that on one of our highways, a truck transporting meat products caught on fire. Sounds like a good barbecue, right?
Not that I'd eat. Yeah, it's fuel might add to the taste. It's like, go for it.
It wasn't probably seasoned properly, but people are immediately like on Facebook threads, they are immediately posting like GIFs with barbecues and meat being cut and like, and Homer Simpson, you know, drooling. People are crazy.
Change the channel, Marge.
Oh man, that's funny. That's so funny.
Anyone got hopes for Matrix 4?
Actually, I'm not sure. I still somehow okay. The first movie was really good. The second one I liked. The third one was like meh. I was like, okay, just because I want to complete the trilogy, I watched that movie, but honestly, all those. I would. It probably wasn't that bad of a movie, but I would cut out many scenes out of it, especially when those rave party scenes that were completely unnecessary, and all that stuff. And at the end, it was just a mess with all the shooting and everything. Yeah, Deej.
Yeah, it's me.
It's you. How's your day going?
What's going on, Deej?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Silence is golden. Yeah.
I was trying to fix something. But yeah, nothing's going on.
Oh, I guess OnlyFans reversed their banning of porn.
Oh, did they? They realized that they will lose like 90% of subscribers?
According to I'm just looking, Orange Chat Review just did this. Let me see. Let me go to the article. It's from Variety. OnlyFans drops planned porn ban. Will continue to allow sexually explicit content. Less than a week. OnlyFans drops plans to ban porn from its service less than a week after UK content creators subscription list had announced the change, citing the company client policies and banking partners. Yeah, okay, whatever.
It's basically why would somebody cut I'm not saying 90%, but a huge portion of their income, you know?
I can understand banning certain things. That was even too broad for them. It's just like, what?
Well, I thought the original plan was they were going to move or open up a separate website that they could rebrand and let that aspect of it be on there.
Right.
But anyway, it makes no sense because everything is behind a paywall, you know? So it's not like it's a free available content. It's even more restrictive than the other hub or the other tube, you know? where you have basically free videos available. But and this is completely behind the paywall, so there is literally no reason why to censor something or why changing the business strategy, and especially if it creates like a huge part of your income. So when I read it for the first time, I was like, are they crazy? Are they shooting themselves in the leg? Probably. I'm not even surprised that it was only probably just a teaser what would happen if they released a message like this. They probably never planned to remove it. It was maybe just like testing the waters.
Well, I don't understand why all these I mean, I'm a little confused why these bank companies were refusing to allow payments to go through with their cards. I don't know. It seems weird. I mean, you're telling me these. So Pornhub, Tube8, and all them people use their credit cards to pay for those sites if they want to. I don't know why you'd pay for them, but some people do.
Yeah. Oh, it says not everything is behind the paywall. Okay, I don't know. I'm not on that particular webpage at all, so I don't know. Maybe some are so cheap or so ugly that they put everything up for free.
Yeah.
And NB, I can answer your one question about why some people would pay for it.
Okay.
Ends up being cheaper in the long run than getting married.
Well, that is true. As someone who's been married twice, I can agree with that. Oh, I came across this. I don't know if anybody else saw this one. Okay, everybody. I'm pretty sure most of you guys remember the cover of Nirvana's album with the baby in the pool.
Yep.
Apparently, the child who was photoed in that is actually suing them.
Of course they are.
Oh God.
Who? Where? What? What child?
The baby on the Nirvana cover album. I don't remember the name of the freaking the one that has.
Never mind. From the Nevermind album. Oh, is suing whom? Did he run out of money, or what's his issue? Because he was even recreating the picture when he was already an adult or teenager or something. There was an article about it in swim trunks, of course, at that stage, but.
Yeah,
he recreated
something about they're saying it's he's saying, I guess, and I don't know, he's like 30 years old now, saying something along the lines that I guess there was an agreement that they would have covered up his private areas, and most baby, and actually U.S. law, I did not realize it because I asked that question way back then. I said, doesn't this qualify as child porn? And I kind of find out baby pictures do not normally, under U.S. law, get viewed that way. I mean, obviously there are exceptions, I would imagine, but a naked baby is not necessarily considered child porn.
No.
Don't use the words out loud, please.
Oh, sorry.
But yeah, they did the same thing with the beginning of the movie A World According to Garp. You see the baby flying up a little bit more each time until you see the full Monty fly past. Not like a Nirvana album was the first time.
Yes.
You know, it's just basically another way this kid and his lawyer want to make money.
It's the only thing, because if he comes up with something like childhood trauma or something,
kind of hard considering he has it tattooed on him.
Well, it says right in the story he's asking at least $150,000.
Yeah, he's not asking. I mean, straight enough, he's not asking for a lot of money when you really think about it.
So he's asking that from Dave Grohl, Courtney Love, Chris Dude, and the executor of Bourdain's estate. And the managers. And the photographer. And the art director. So yes, it's adding up to be quite a bit of money after he starts listing every person he wants to sue over this.
And he wants 150K from everybody?
Yep.
Okay.
Who is suing?
Naked Baby from the Nirvana album.
And the thing that don't even make sense is Grohl wasn't even the drummer at the time when the album came out.
Wasn't?
But he's still saying, yeah, Grohl replaced the original drummer in 1990 before the album was recorded or the cover shot. So he's just looking for money. He's not been traumatized or anything else. He's just jumping on this bandwagon. Let's sue for whatever we can so we can get some money and we can sit around and be lazy.
Yeah, pretty much. Sounds like that. Because I hardly doubt that the parents were not paid for that picture at the time. Maybe $500 or whatever, but they got paid. It's not like the picture was stolen from somewhere.
No, actually, I think they got paid. I think they, in the article, it said they got paid $750 for the shoot.
Yeah. See?
No, 200.
Oh, 200. Oh, I thought it said 750. I must have missed. Huh. Okay, my bad.
Okay, whatever. Even if it was like $1, even if it was like $1, they got paid.
And they signed no contract. It was just a paid service for the day.
Yeah, see.
And 5 years ago, this dude posed to recreate this. So he's not traumatized by this shit.
No.
Definitely not. It's pure BS.
Oh, the cover album. Well, the album was called Nevermind. Look, I'm going to be straight up honest with you guys. I was never a Nirvana fan. I thought Kurt Cobain was overrated. Still do. I've very much have said the only good thing that came out of Nirvana was the Foo Fighters. Yes, I have said that before, and I still stand by it.
I was never a big fan of grunge in general, so
I don't like Pearl Jam either.
Hail, Kuroga.
Hail on Kuroga.
Oh, okay. I missed that part in the article there, Deej. 150 grand from each defendant, not total. Okay, my bad.
Oh, for fuck's sake. That's pathetic.
And the problem is not that, and he knows what he's doing because he knows that the guys have the money, so that the money in any of those cases should be a problem.
But he is being a stupid idiot because he's got a lawyer, and the lawyer's going to take most of that away from him anyway.
Anyway, yeah, exactly.
Let's see. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, well. Yeah, assuming he even won everything he's asking for, be like, yeah, you're still fucked. Oh, well.
The article actually points out what Deej was just talking about, the fact that Chad Channing is named in it, even though he wasn't even part of the group at the time when it came out. All right, you ready to go, honey? Okay. All right, guys, I'm back in a minute. I'm gonna walk her out.
Yep.
Don't leave the collar on.
So, how are you doing, Carlo, besides trying to cause problems in the chat?
More cat universities. The MCU. Leave Pearl Jam alone came back. And Jack. Okay, don't leave Pearl Jam alone, actually.
And why not?
I'm just trying to fill so there's no dead air.
Well, yeah.
I got tired of having to go around correcting all these people trying to review the Spider-Man trailer. None of them pay.
What was wrong?
They don't pay attention. All they see is Doc Ock and a pumpkin bomb. I mean, come on. There was 3 other villains shown in that fucking trailer, people. You watch close enough, you'll see the Lizard, you will see the Sandman, and you will see Electro.
And Alligator Loki.
No, but you do see Spidey Mephisto.
Did everybody miss Alligator Loki?
There was no Alligator Loki.
Oh, he was there.
He was not.
Maybe it was just burning on my screen.
Probably.
But I can share the proof, and I sent this to... I tweeted it out to LDG yesterday because we know how he loves Mephisto.
It would explain why General Chang was also in it.
Yep, I put a link down below.
Yeah,
right there, folks. Spidey Mephisto. Got the horns, got the little mustache, got devil in disguise. Spidey Mephisto.
Yeah.
Yes, Richie, I think Bird has a thing for Alligator Loki, too.
He was clearly the best Loki.
I'm ashamed I still didn't watch the Loki show.
You should be ashamed.
I don't care.
But then again, I haven't watched today's What If yet either, so I'm bad.
Yeah. Was another episode released? Yeah.
There's an episode every early Wednesday morning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I gotta watch that later. I'll probably do that while I'm doing dishes.
You know, the problem with me is that I don't have Disney Plus, and the idiots were supposed to launch here in August of this year, so basically this month. And this month they released an announcement that they are postponing it to summer 2022. So I was like, okay, guys, I don't mind postpone it till 2022, but the less reach you have, the bigger the reach of the Jack Sparrow network is. If you don't realize that. I understand, for example, I know what is happening right now. They are doing all the, what is it called, like dubbing of all the shows, because they need, if they want to be successful on foreign markets, they need to have everything in local languages. So I know that they are now doing, like, for example, in our region, they are doing all the Czech and Slovak basically translations of everything. So yeah, it will take some time. However, I don't know why they just don't release it with, let's say, subtitles like Netflix does it. And there is as well a huge back catalog that was already like all the things that were in theaters or that were on TV. They could easily put there with the local in the local languages. But it's their problem, because I don't think there should be some problems, major problems with, you know, like rights. Because I know that, for example, many of those Disney movies that end up, for example, on TV, they usually get the contracts like you can have it on TV one time or 2 times, basically within 24 hours. or 48 hours. So this is how those contracts are usually done. So that it isn't like sold for, I don't know, for 10 years or so. Just imagine, we have here, it's a very popular fairy tale here. It was made in, I don't know, 75, 76, a movie that is played only on Christmas, during Christmas. So either between 24th and 28th, on those 4 days, usually on the 24th or 25th. And there is every single year, there is a bidding, an auction between TV stations, who's going to get the rights for that 1 year, and who is bidding the most, that one is getting the movie. And it's not like you can buy like the rights for 10 years or something. It's literally, the bidding is always somewhere in September, the auction for the rights for showing the movie.
And now I've been counting the subjects, and it's time to go back to Star Trek. What phaser do you think's overpowered? No, I'm kidding.
We can go back to Star Trek. I don't mind talking.
I just did it because I'm an asshole.
Okay, so shall we talk about Michael Burnham and how great she is?
Listen to me very carefully, because I'm only going to say this once. Coffee. Black.
Coffee. Black. While I've got your attention, there are...
Coffee first. Well, this mentor would like another cup of coffee. I'm just gonna have to give up coffee. Want some coffee?
If I'm not mistaken, that's your 3rd cup this morning.
4th, and on a day like today, it won't be my last. Coffee. The finest organic suspension ever devised. Commander, set a new course. There's coffee in that nebula.
Jittery bitch.
That was a nice, nice hint for Joseph to shut up. Hi, Darren. Good to see you.
Oh, hi. Let me turn off my fan here. I tell you, you never could make a montage of Picard talking about how much he likes Earl Grey coffee. All he had to do was order it sternly every once in a while from his replicator in his office or wherever. And they really tried to, I mean, again, this is a testament to the inferior writing on Voyager. They really wanted to make, Janeway have her drink to be like her own Picard in that regard, but they just kept slathering it on. It's like, come on, just have her order it like he does, and it eventually will be a thing organically. Instead, they were kept trying to hit the audience over the head with it all the time.
Do you really see it like that?
I do see it like that. There's a lot of things about Jerry Taylor's writing and influence that really show up. It's like, okay, but back when I had videos on Andy Trucker's channel, there was a video I did about an episode called The Wounded, which is a really good episode from TNG, where they introduced the Cardassians. It's the first time you see a Nebula class ship, and it was the first Chief O'Brien centric episode, and it was co-written by Jerry Taylor, and you can tell exactly the parts that she added in. Anytime somebody became a sycophantic, hero worship of Picard, that was her influence, because that's what she put into Voyager all the time. Voyager, people were constantly talking about how great Voyager was. Nobody talked about how great Kirk was, or started talking about how great Kirk was until maybe the motion picture, and never in his presence, or her, in the motion picture, Kirk comes onto the bridge, checks it out, and then leaves to go down to engineering or whatever. And Uhura says that, our chances of surviving this mission may have just doubled. She says that to an ensign. She doesn't say that when Kirk's in the room. But anytime Jerry Taylor's involved, people keep buttering her muffin, And in The Wounded, O'Brien uncharacteristically does that to Picard too, and he doesn't do that in any other episode that I've found on TNG, and it's because of Jerry Taylor's writing.
I watched an interview some years back with Ronald Moore, because he was a big influencer in TNG and DS9, He came over to Voyager and quit after a few episodes of writing because, well, he got into his former partner, I guess, from one of the other shows was now his boss, and they were butting heads really bad.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Brandon Braga was that guy, and
yes,
if you look at the first season in particular, Jerry Taylor, she has the co-creator credit. She was, it was again one of these situations where she was portrayed as the new Dorothy Fontana, and she wasn't. She was. And Jerry Taylor herself, people complimented her all the time because she was one of the few women on the writing staff. And I don't think her episodes are any good, to be honest. Jerry Taylor, did she write that one where Beverly is having sex with the ghost in the lamp or whatever?
Oh God, that is such a shitty episode.
Yeah, I think let's see, Jerry Taylor.
IMDb.
I mean, adorable looking woman, but she's in her 90s now.
Oh yes, is she actually still alive? I'm even surprised.
Yeah. Yep, she wrote it. Sub Rosa, I think is what it was.
Sub Rosa.
Yeah.
Can you explain the writer you were comparing her to because the person to, because I'm not familiar with that person.
When you look at TOS credits, you'll often see right underneath or next to Gene Roddenberry's name somebody named DC Fontana.
Okay.
And she went by DC Fontana because a lot of female writers did that so that people couldn't guess their gender by their name. Yeah,
they went by a pen name to cover their gender, and in the '60s that made sense.
Right, and actually earlier than that too. I mean, all the way back to the '30s and such. But so Dorothy Fontana was one of those writers who didn't have an agenda. For example, it's like she hated the number one character, that was played by Majel Barrett Roddenberry in the original pilot. The idea of having a woman on the bridge, she's like, this doesn't work, maybe she was a feminist, but it didn't show through in much of her work. So I mean, there's somebody who sacrificed a little bit of their self, identity or just opinions to make a better program that worked. Jerry Taylor was not that kind of writer. She was there to insert that in there. And I look at all of these episodes that she had a hand in. The Wounded, she enhanced the teleplay, but the story was written by others. And they're all the ones that have to do. I mean, none of these are Chain of Command Part 2. She has an uncredited hand in, but I mean, I don't know. I kind of balk at that. But I'm looking at them. Suddenly Human, not a great episode. Night Terrors, it's okay, but it's a Troy-centric episode.
In my guilty pleasure.
Yeah, Silicon Avatar was okay, I suppose. That was, But then Violations, of course, she's the one who wrote the rape episode, right? She had to be, right?
She's got 95 credit. She's got 95 executive producer, I guess, credits for Voyager.
Mm-hmm.
I'm checking that on
didn't she write even Encounter at Farpoint? I'm not sure.
No,
let me check Next Generation. Well, let's see, Star Trek: The Next Generation, supervising producer, 50 episodes, co-producer for 26 episodes, executive producer, 25 episodes. She's credited with all good. She's credited as executive producer and showrunner for All Good Things.
Yeah, but I mean, at that point, she was in development for Voyager. But I'm looking at her writing credit. Because producer just means you were able to secure the funds to fund the episode.
Right.
And so you might have a little bit of influence, but it's when she gets a writing credit because of the Writers Guild of America requiring her to have one because she has so much input. Aquiel, that was the episode where Geordi had a love interest, and she did have 3 writing credits on Deep Space Nine, and they're all, I think, in the first and second season, second season, Maquis Part 1 and 2, and Homecoming.
But Aquiel was a good episode.
Aquiel, you think so?
Mm-hmm. I like that one.
Yeah, she was cute.
So I'm looking at okay. So Caretaker, it says creator, showrunner, story by showrunner, teleplay by showrunner. I'm confused. I'm having a hard time figuring out which one she. So she wrote. So she's creator of the episode, but she didn't write it. Is that how I'm understanding?
Right. She came in. Somebody. Okay. So a teleplay is literally when you take a story and you turn it into a script that can be used by a TV series. And so in this case, she's listed as a contributing writer for Caretaker, but the teleplay still goes to Michael Piller, the late Michael Piller, with story, and so it says story with Rick Berman and Michael Piller. So it means that they three collaborated on it. You know, it's interesting because her producing credit is only for the first 4 seasons of Voyager. And would argue that the series did get even better after season 4, with her departure. but I don't want to seem like I'm hating on her too much. I mean, every show needed filler episodes back then. So,
according to this, it says, if I'm reading the Voyager right, it says she's credited with 9 episodes of writing, written by. She's credited for 9 episodes.
Yeah, I went to Memory Alpha. I'm looking at her stuff under writing
I'm
credits.
on IMDb.
Yeah, and she has 14 writing credits under Voyager, 3 on Deep Space Nine, 17 on TNG, and then her producing credits are 4 producing credits for the last 4 seasons of Deep Space Nine. Sorry, excuse me, TNG, and then the first 4 of Voyager. Yeah.
The first one I can see here that says she wrote for Voyager, and I don't even remember this episode, the 37s.
Oh yeah.
Of course,
Amelia Earhart.
They found Amelia Earhart and a bunch of other people from 1937
that
in suspended animation. Of course, they had to find Amelia Earhart. Yeah, but
of course,
I actually thought it was pretty good. I mean, they couldn't find somebody else who got lost in history, but Jimmy Hoffa. It had to be Amelia. That's
How come you never found Jimmy? God dang, man! What does that tell you? Even Star Trek can't find Jimmy Hoffa.
Yeah. I mean, that would be funny. I mean,
that would actually make a great episode.
Yeah.
He can't go back to Earth, so to drop him off at that gangster planet from the original series.
Yes.
Leave it to lower decks. They will. They might do it.
Yeah. But if when you look at The Wounded, the writing credit is that the story was created by the Chernow couple and another guy, and directed by but the teleplay is by Jerry Taylor, and you can tell when you watch that episode what she inserted. O'Brien. He didn't suck up, he wasn't that kind of a guy.
No.
And he didn't suck up to Commander Sisko, even when Commander Sisko became a great captain as Captain Sisko. He didn't suck up to him, and he didn't suck up really to Picard much either, except for in this episode. And if you look at for example in the Deep Space Nine pilot when they showed O'Brien leaving the Enterprise. How he came up to the captain's ready room and he decided not to pester him with his departure, and so he leaves, and then he gets down to the transporter room, and Captain Picard has obviously jogged down there, and he personally transfers him off the ship. And there's a lot of great unspoken stuff there. That's how it should be between the two of them.
I thought it was a great. Yeah, Darian, I thought that was a great scene.
It was.
The captain coming down, showing respect for her. Really, I mean, when you think about it, one of the reasons why O'Brien is one of my favorite characters is he's the only constant enlisted person. Right. Yeah. Yeah, he's the only main character. And he was not just that, he was a storied one. He was going to be sent to this station, which is normally a station
administered by Starfleet would have a commissioned officer as the chief engineer, but because he had the skills with Cardassian and Bajoran technology in addition to Federation technology, that was why he was the most well suited. And he was also
he fought in the Border Wars.
Yeah, he also fought in the Border Wars. He's also known as the hero of Setlik 3. So I mean, he had titles, so but yeah, again, the Border Wars. At the time, the continuity said that Picard and Ryan, I think, were the only two people on the Enterprise that actually fought during that time period. Later they retconned it and they actually made Janeway a veteran of the Border Wars too. But the problem was she was too young. But they fudged the numbers and so that they could say that she was there too, because they needed her to be a veteran at that point for that one episode. So, but that scene where the captain personally transports him off, and then stares at the empty transporter pad for a couple of seconds before getting back to business. I thought that was just a beautifully understated moment.
I like the little dialogue he had. This was always your, how Picard says, this was always your favorite, wasn't it? Yep. Transporter number 3.
Yep.
Why? No reason.
Nope.
We don't need an explanation on why. We didn't need a long, drawn-out detail on why that was his favorite. Mm-hmm. It just was. Mm-hmm.
Yep. I mean, during the second season, I loved when they started. That's when O'Brien really, sort of cemented him as the transporter guy. And what he reminds me of is that SNL skit, the guy that had with the desk next to the photocopier that had to, make fun of people or, joke with them whenever they used the copy machine, Captain Trek, the Trekorino, the Trekoramba, making copies, That's what he that's what he kind of reminded me of, because every time just before he'd transport somebody off, he would say something to him to unnerve them, I think the first time he did it was in the episode, God, what was it called? A Matter of Honor. No. It was the one where Riker became a TDA officer on a Klingon bird of prey.
He was transferred. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And
what was it he said to him? I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, he says, I wouldn't go. Why not? Because you're not afraid, are you? No, I'm not. I would be. Beams him off.
I totally forgot about the fact that he would just, you're right. I never made that connection. I'm mostly focused on O'Brien in the DS9, but you're right. I totally spaced on the fact that he used to just do a little kind of a nice quip to, relax some tension.
Yeah. One of the other ones he did was when, Picard, Data and Worf were going to beam onto the Promelian battle cruiser in the episode. God, no, I'm drawing blanks this morning. Booby Trap, the episode Booby Trap, right at the beginning, and Picard's like, this ship is exactly the way they left it, in the bottle, because he's referencing ships in bottles. Mm-hmm. Worf and Data don't know what he's talking about. And he goes like, good Lord, didn't anyone here build ships in bottles when they were boys? And
Klingons do not play with toys.
Yeah, and then O'Brien goes, I did, and then everybody turns and stares at him.
He's like, ships in a bottle, great fun.
Yeah. Now he stopped doing that, interestingly, for the most part. I mean, he didn't stop doing it here, but there was one point where he tried that shit with Pulaski. And Pulaski wasn't having it. It was in her final appearance on the show. It was that episode everybody talks about, Shades of Grey, which was a clip show, which was pretty standard for television still in the 80s, to have a clip show during the holidays.
During the writer's strike, wasn't the whole point of that? It was the writer's strike?
Yeah. It was a wraparound. They only had to film like 3 or 4 scenes, and that was it. And the rest of it was just a clip show. They used to do that when, like, usually the episode right before the holidays on a lot of shows, just to basically give the cast some time off during the holidays. They would do that, like a week. But no, she steps onto the transporter pad. And she's obviously nervous. She's looking up at the thing in the ceiling and stuff. And then O'Brien goes, "I hope these are the right coordinates." Yeah. And then she kind of looks at him, and she goes, and then he breaks down. He says, "I'm sorry, Doctor. I know how much you love the transporter." And she stares at him flatly and goes, about as much as I love transporter chiefs.
Comical
transporter chiefs. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah. Comical.
He straightens out and just beams her down. So,
it's like, okay.
Yeah. Then in Deep Space Nine, when Worf came on board, and he's talking to O'Brien, like, how do you stand working at this command? And he's like, are you kidding me? I used to stand around in the transporter room for hours every day with nothing to do, because here I've got at least 12 problems happening simultaneously every day. So and that was he liked it better on the station. So
Well, he liked it better on the station because, let's be honest, it was a better use of his talents,
right,
and his experience. I mean, Darian, I think you pretty much nailed all of his experiences and stuff and why he was the perfect person to be the chief of operations on the station.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, it was a promotion for him. I mean, he was promoted to, I think, senior chief petty officer. I know they never really said it, but I think he was actually promoted from chief petty officer to senior chief in that one.
Yeah, judging by his rank insignia, he's either a senior or a master. It's hard to tell because they never explained the rank. They just made it vaguely reminiscent of enlisted ranks. But the other thing was that Keiko did say it was a promotion, which probably meant, I mean, they never talk about how much these guys get paid, but there have been situations where chiefs have been given responsibility that would normally be given to like a lieutenant commander or something, and they get their chief pay, but then they also get like a bonus every month that would make their total income the equivalent of a lieutenant commander for as long as they're in that position. So I mean, if it's anything like the Navy, then that possibly is what happened there. We know that at the end, he revealed that he was going to be going to Starfleet Academy as an instructor.
Which
and that's
I would love to have seen. I would love to have seen that one. Oh, I did like one thing I did like was when Bashir and Ezra were talking about holodeck things, and she wanted to do the Alamo, and Bashir's like, no, that's our thing.
Yeah. And there was that whole idea that the only reason that O'Brien and Bashir were friends was because there was, I'm stuck with you. You're the only, and they became friends, but they both acknowledged that, any other command, they would not be chummy, at all, but they had to be, and I thought that was.
I can relate to what O'Brien was feeling because O'Brien was a very seasoned Starfleet enlisted officer, and Bashir is a very young Starfleet doctor, and they have a very different. And I'm going to be honest, I've been in those positions as an NCO, and you'll get these new bright-eyed lieutenants popping in, and we just kind of look at them, and they're all sprouty, they're all happy, they're all joyful and jubilee and all that shit, and we're just like, all right, dude.
Yeah.
Now, what do I got to teach you? No, generally we're like, all right, am I required to teach you anything? No, then get the hell out of my office.
Yeah. Now, I kind of agree with Mountains of Elysium. I mean, towards the end of TNG, you'll notice that O'Brien was right there with Geordi a lot. There was, obviously anything that was transporter related, he was always going to be there too, because he was like that department head or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But I remember the scene. What was it? It was the one where they came to this planet. And and it had to be evacuated because this alien race called the Shellyak were claiming it, and and Picard, and the atmosphere of the planet had this thing in it that prevented them from using transporters.
Planet. Yeah,
and
it was an H-class
we always have
planet.
Paris.
Yeah, and they bring in O'Brien and Geordi, and Riker begins by saying, okay, we're going to ask you guys to do something, and the last thing we want to hear is that it's impossible. And Picard looks at him and goes, I want the transporters to function despite the hyperonic radiation.
Yeah, but that's it. All right, sir. How Geordi say, but that's it.
Yeah.
All right, so he gets that look. It's like, okay, I didn't want to hear that word. You better make this work.
And I do like
then at
that.
the end, when he says
Oh, yeah.
how long it would take, remember how he says, "Sir, we figured it out. It'll take 15 years and a crew of 1,000, or something like that."
Yeah. Yeah. It worked out, but yeah, they brought O'Brien and Geordi into that. Of course, O'Brien just kept his mouth shut. But one of the things that you notice also on TNG was a lot of times the junior officers, right, Worf, Geordi, would say something to Picard, and Picard would be like, "Oh, I don't think that's right. You better recheck that," and stuff. But when O'Brien told him something, that was it, and that's something that you don't notice unless you're looking for it.
Basically, when you look at TNG, Worf was a horrible character. He was just a punching bag and laughing stock for the first half of the show completely.
Yeah.
And he only became a good character with Way of the Warrior when he came over to Deep Space Nine. Only then Worf, and in the movies, he became the badass. Otherwise, he was just a punching bag.
Yeah, he started. They started allowing him to actually kick a little ass towards the end of TNG,
right?
With the Klingon Civil War thing, but then later on that he the episode Parallels, where he's coming back from a Bat-Left tournament where he apparently won first place. Now a lot of this stuff happened off camera, but they were really starting to prep him for greatness later, and then when we get to Deep Space Nine, I mean, there's that wonderful moment where Sisko's like upset because Gowron is now taking direct control over the Klingon forces, and he's fucking up left and right during the critical point in the Dominion War. And
the only people who can handle Klingons are Klingons.
Yeah, but he says to Worf, he goes, "Something has to be done about this," and he's basically, without telling him, he's ordering him to assassinate Gowron. And it was,
that part already.
That part, towards the end when Gowron took control of the Klingon forces away from Martok, because he didn't want him to be a political rival after the war ended, and Gowron is just not very good at this, and they're starting to mount serious losses, and Sisko is like, "Mr. Worf, something has to be done about this," and he's like, "Aye, sir," and he leaves. He's like, this is not something that Picard, I don't think, would ever have done. Had a scene with Worf about.
I'm going to be honest. Aaron. I think the dynamic between Worf and Sisko was way better than him and Picard.
Oh, absolutely.
Worf was a way better character on Deep Space Nine than he was ever on TNG.
Yeah. Michael Thorne will tell you that the best, the best material Worf ever got.
What was his title?
Chief Strategic Operations Officer, I think, is what they gave him. But
correct.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny when they asked him about what's it like being in Red. And I was kind of like, did you guys forget he was in Red before?
Yeah, well, that was before he went security.
They kind of fudged that one a little. But
Well, no, it's understandable. Look at you got to remember. Originally, O'Brien, in the very first episode, which they got right in All Good Things, they put him back in Red.
Right.
Because at that time, he was working a different department, and he was working in a department that had a red shirt.
Yeah, he it's funny too, because it took them a season or two to figure out that O'Brien was going to be a chief. A couple of times he was called lieutenant, and it was just so we have to kind of overlook those things. His rank insignia didn't really change until Deep Space Nine. But I read one interesting theory. Like, it's possible that the pips on his collar were silver rather than gold. We just couldn't tell on TV.
Okay, I mean, that might be possible.
And that would work.
At some point, Darian, and maybe you guys remember, do you remember at some point when the pip on O'Brien went from a solid color to an actual kind of a black with an outline?
Right. Yeah, I remember that. It's and that was, I guess, probably another indicator. They would after he became chief, he had to have something else on his collar. So who knows? But
it was Chief O'Brien, Section 31.
No. Hell no.
No.
I remember an interview.
If I want to see an evil Chief O'Brien, I'll watch Stargate Atlantis.
Oh yes, the Janai.
Yeah,
mirror ones.
You know what I'm talking about.
But Smiley wasn't bad. That's the
He
problem.
wasn't bad. You're right.
He was even a good character in the Mirror universe.
Yeah. Okay, guys, I do have to take off. I'll talk to you guys later. Okay.
Have a good day,
I was
Darren.
supposed to take off like 35 minutes ago.
Yep.
I'm going to be completely honest. When it comes to Deep Space Nine, the episodes I tend to skip over are the Mirror Universe episodes. I just never liked them.
There are some good ones in them, though. There are good points in them.
I just didn't care for them.
The only good thing about Deep Space Nine Mirror Universe episodes was the Intendant.
Intendant Kira, yeah.
I don't know. I kind of liked watching Garrick get to actually be, full Garrick.
He wasn't completely full Garrick, though, because the last episode they did in the Mirror Universe, he was chained up by Worf.
Yeah, Garrick was
That's why that's
loser.
why I said I don't particularly care for the Mirror Universe episodes in there. I just don't. They're
the only one that did a good Mirror Universe episode was Enterprise.
Oh, in the Mirror Darkly.
Yeah. I couldn't stand that episode.
Really?
I'm going to go with Captain Trek here. I can actually skip those episodes and not lose anything.
I thought it was drawn out, boring, and if it had been one episode, it would have been great. One episode, but they made it two, and it was just like. So I definitely skipped those.
How can it go from one episode being great to 2 episodes being terrible?
Because it didn't need to be that long. Now, I'll tell you this, Cap. You know what I hated the most about that episode? The CGI'd Gorn.
Gorn, exactly. That was one scene that I could live without.
Okay, I'll give you the Gorn sucked on that one, but the rest of the episode was
the only
great.
down point of the episode.
I did like the fact that the Tholians came back. That I did enjoy.
And I liked how they explained how that Defiant got there.
Oh yes, because of Tholian Web. Yeah, exactly.
You're right. Directly tied into TOS with the disappearance of the Defiant on TOS.
Mm-hmm.
It went back in time and ended up in the Mirror Universe.
That makes perfect sense.
I do like how Trip the Trip in the Mirror Universe is going over the engineering specs, and he says something like, "I'm like a steamboat captain on something like that." He's like, "This thing is more advanced than anything I understand."
You know what? Mayweather had something to do in that episode and wasn't just a cardboard cutout. We saw Hoshi in a crop top.
Totally hot. Totally hot.
Totally hot.
Yes. Hey, you know what? I'm gonna say this. The twist at the end was pretty damn good. This is Empress Sato. Please stand by. As much as I did not necessarily care for those 2 episodes, I wouldn't mind seeing a little more of that. Maybe I'll read the books.
You know what? They missed out, for example, on Discovery to tie some familiar connection between Hoshi and
Sato
and Giorgio. You know.
Oh yeah, Sato and Joju. Yeah, that would have been. I was surprised they didn't tie that in.
Yeah.
I mean, that would have been the most logical sense to tie in. I mean,
I know that
doesn't mean they're the same.
Yeah, I know, but and I know that one is Japanese, the other one is Chinese, but still they could find some in-universe explanation.
According to the Discovery, all Asians look alike, so that's why they just didn't tie it in, because they thought you'd assume it anyway.
the fuck?
Just explaining in the mental capacity of the writers of Discovery. That's about how dumb they would be. So I just put it how they would probably thinking.
I will say this: the whole, like I said, the whole Sato ending made those 2 episodes a lot of fun. Unfortunately, they're just 2 one-off episodes that were just put together. And unfortunately, they weren't needed. They were, I mean, I'm not going to say they weren't fun episodes. There was some fun in them. A lot of things I didn't like. I did like the twist ending, but, it was just a romp. It wasn't needed for the show. It really didn't fit in the show. It was just there to be there.
NB, Star Trek is supposed to be fun and a romp. So they do fit in perfectly.
Okay, maybe you're right.
Because what? Then we had only like 3 more episodes after those 2.
You had the 2-parter. You had the 2-parter Terra Prime, I think, and then you had the final episode, which nobody, as far as I know, ever liked.
Somebody says they liked it. Kick them out. That last episode of Enterprise
was wrong. That last episode was wrong. Oh, nice.
The only good thing about that episode was the ending. With all the captains basically doing these are the voyages and so on and so on. When they were cutting between the Enterprises.
Okay, that I liked.
That was the only redeeming shot of that show.
Yeah.
But getting rid of Trip, treating the characters like whole other characters was just wrong.
Well, the getting rid of Trip part was already in plans, because if they'd went to the 5th season, they had this whole arc planned out for everybody thinking Trip was dead, but he wasn't.
Yeah, didn't they write a book about that to retcon that he's not actually dead?
Yeah, it was Section 31 involved in that.
Oh, Carla didn't like Terra Prime.
Got him to go undercover as a Romulan.
How would he go over to cover as a Romulan? He wouldn't even know what Romulans look like.
Because in Enterprise, and if you read the books, Section 31 and the Klingon, or not the Klingon, Vulcan High Command do know what Romulans are. They're the only ones that know who Romulans are.
And, of course, they keep that to themselves.
Yeah. And they sent Trip in undercover. They even changed his DNA and everything else to make him appear more Romulan, to sneak in to try to destroy a military shipyard that the Romulans were using to build cloak ships.
The only people I've ever seen in Star Trek who know how to manipulate DNA were the Vidians.
And the Klingorks.
Well, the Klingons manipulated DNA, but that was because they stole all the augment data on trying to create augments. They fucked up.
Yeah, they fucked up. And, I will say that I do like the fact that we did finally... I will say this. One thing I did like in Picard was they did give an explanation on why some Romulans have ridges and some don't.
Which still doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't make sense, but at least they finally gave an explanation. It was stupid, but, hey, what are you going to do?
You know what? It's on par with the Klingon explanation. I don't mind it at all.
Except the Klingon explanation did make more sense.
I like how he said, "My Targ won't even recognize me." I guess I'll go into cranial surgery. I have a feeling it's going to be popular. And you got to figure, most of the Klingons who were soldiers and stuff who were born that way, they probably couldn't afford the surgery.
And Targ would have recognized him because the Targ would have went by smell, not look.
Yep.
I think he was just making a joke. It's like I've had times where I've done, when I shave my head, I was like, my dog's even going to recognize me? Of course they're going to recognize me.
But see, that was another enjoyable 3-part episode where they did all that with the augments and the clones.
Oh, Code Station 12 augments, and yeah, which other was the third one? Yeah,
and you got Brent Spiner back as another Soon. Except this Soon dabbled in DNA until the end when he said, "Well, maybe I'll work on positronic brains."
So basically, we learned that the Soongs were actually a-holes in all timelines.
Yep.
Which was another kind of leap there, going from bio to think that he could automatically just start working on a positronic brain. That's 2 totally different fields.
That was one of the best episodes with his, he created his daughter. And even though he used himself as a template and everything, he still didn't have what it took to make a successful positronic matrix.
Oh, the Offspring, yeah. But they managed on Picard.
Oh, don't even get me started on that.
You know what? I like all those tie-ins that they did on Picard on Picard when they did all the tie-ins. The problem is not like the thought behind it. The problem is the execution.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's the biggest problem that I have with it. Just like when you think about the premise of the Voyager. Voyager's premise is fantastic. Once again, how they handled it is just horrible in many ways, because you could basically do Battlestar Galactica with it all the way.
I did that a lot, Joseph, where I was like, the Star Trek Voyager should have been, at least for the first season and a half, should have been more Battlestar Galactica style. They shouldn't have been so quick to incorporate all the Maquis in the very first episodes in the pilot.
And basically, when you look at the character of Chakotay, he had 0 character development, like 0. The only character development he ever had was him becoming the first officer. That's it, pretty much. Oh, we have the German here on the panel. Guten Tag, Ma.
A wonderful good hello, ladies and Ebergem, gentlemen.
Carlo, my only issue with the episode Year from Hell is they don't remember it.
Yeah, exactly. Reset button. Bam.
Right.
Time's up. Bam. That's it. Day 1.
Captain, I have a surprise for you on Discord.
And I saw that. Thank you very much.
Did my best.
And downloaded already. Thank you.
I might have missed some pixels, but...
No. You didn't.
You know what? Even when with Scorpion, they basically got rid of almost everything Borg related on that ship that could actually pimp up the ship.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, and help me out because Voyager's my least favorite of all of them. Didn't they incorporate didn't they incorporate some Borg technology over the season?
Very little, and it was like the astrometrics lab, and was enhanced with some Borg knowledge. and here and there. But when you remember the episode when basically in Scorpion, either part 1 or part 2, there were some physical upgrades on the model of the ship or on the ship itself, and it went over to the next episode, which was The Gift, when Kes left.
Yeah,
they still had those upgrades or on the hull, and then they removed everything.
Kes returning was, in my part, one of the worst, if not the worst episode of the latter seasons. I did not like it at all. I hate it.
Fury?
It was not a good episode.
It was an average Voyager episode. I wouldn't say it was the worst one. It was meh episode, like, yeah.
I had to come back in here because you guys are bad-mouthing Voyager.
No, I'm not. I like Voyager.
No, not bad-mouthing.
Okay,
no, I'm saying I don't agree with. I didn't like the episode where Kes returned. It just was so out of character.
I agree. I don't like that episode either. And also, I disagree with the whole idea that Voyager needs to be Battlestar Galactica. It's not. That's not what Star Trek is. Star Trek is never about. It's never about resources. All of those issues are solved with Star Trek. Their technology has solved all of those problems. Their problems are interpersonal relationships. They need to learn how to get along with people that differ from them. And that's the crux of Star Trek, even in Kirk's time.
Kendrick Ben, I'm okay with what you're saying here. The thing is the constant resets of everything. Basically, Chakotay had 0 development. Harry Kim had 0 development. There was one episode. It was when they met the generation ship, when he fell in love with that one girl, where he had to say that he learned how much he learned, and that was the only time he said that he is a different officer than he was in the beginning, but he didn't change at all. When you think about Janeway, how much development did Janeway have? Relatively little. The only things where we see certain development, of course, 7 of 9 was the only character that had natural development. The Doctor had relatively good development, but as well only as a character that he became like more human. But it was only that, and then he had like gazillion of talents that he just downloaded to his matrix. Then and Paris and Torres, yeah, that was the relationship.
I would say Neelix and Tuvok. Neelix and Tuvok's relationship was, really nice as it developed, I thought. And I did like the end where Neelix departs and Tuvok does a dance in front of him.
Harry Kim, hold on, excuse me. I need to respond. Okay? Harry Kim is an ensign. He has no room to advance on Voyager. There is no way in which his character needs to change. He is who he is. When he first shows up, that's who he is. He is a Starfleet officer. It's kind of like every other character in TNG. Not all of the characters get character development. They don't require it.
I'm sorry, but of course he can advance. A, people dying all the time. And B, even if nobody dies, he can still be given a promotion.
Yeah.
Okay, unfortunately, I
can
answer
that
question, Cap.
Then you have a scenario where there's too many chiefs and not enough Indians.
One of the things that actually got brought up by the actor who played Harry Kim was, "Can I get promoted?" And they flat out said, "Somebody's got to be the ensign," which was a stupid answer, in my opinion.
That was a stupid answer. That was a stupid answer.
Someone
he
has
could
to
have
do the
easily
grunt
have
work.
been promoted. He could stay in his position and still be promoted. Come on, she gave.
How? In what way?
She gave Tom Paris Lieutenant JG, demoted him, and then what?
Promoted him again.
Later, promoted him again.
Any promotion is completely meaningless. They're nowhere near Starfleet.
It's
but
just
Tim
a
even
sign of
said,
respect.
Is there a pip in there for me?
And he should have gotten the promotion.
You're the Grand Admiral of Starfleet now. It means absolutely nothing. You're still going to have to do ensign duty.
No, not necessarily. No, that's not.
Who else is going to do it?
We
It
have
would be
enlisted
shared.
people. We have.
There were people that lost their rank.
Most of the work.
There were people that lost their rank on Voyager as well.
Do we know how many people actually died on Voyager?
Actually,
half the ship
you know
died
what? Now that you said that, I'm gonna look at that.
Yeah, half the crew initially died. They had to integrate.
Okay, so a lot of people were pulling double duty on that ship.
You know what? Even Neelix got, in quotes, promoted to ambassador.
All of those promotions are completely meaningless. It's just a show. It's
and give him a meaningless promotion.
So give him a meaningless promotion just for all the things that he did outside of his ensign duties. How many times was he working with 7 of 9 on projects? It was him and 7 of 9 who put together the astrometrics lab. It was Harry Kim who.
If they were still in the Alpha Quadrant, he would have been promoted. That they even said that's what they said on the Wedge Club. He would have been promoted. Even griped and complained. He had the episode with when he was on Nightingale where he was basically captain, and he wasn't up to the task.
Of course, he was not up to the task because he was always he never had the opportunity. He never underwent the command training.
Yeah, you can't expect somebody to be the captain of a ship without command training.
He had the bridge command at nights.
You're right at that, but still there was the safety net of Chakotay. He woke up Chakotay in that episode when they discovered the sentient bomb.
Yeah, but still, to be in command of the bridge, I think he needed to have that training.
Okay, according to this, the crew complement of the Voyager was 141, and in total, according to Memory Alpha, there were 43 total crew members who died. Now, how many of them are also Maquis is also, I noticed they don't show oh god, what was her name? Seska. They're not
Did
showing
Seska die?
Yeah, Seska died eventually. Remember, she dies, and the Kazon, who I guess was potentially the father, remember, she's dead, and he picks up the baby and leaves.
I have to watch that episode.
Oh yeah, I understand. Yeah, there's 141.
But she left the crew, so whether she died or not,
right?
She's off the crew, and she shouldn't have had any type of rank above Harry to begin with.
I agree. Well, that was
she probably would have had a lieutenant rank because most people who are not ensigns have a lieutenant rank.
So you get picked up off a Maquis crew, and you've already outranked Harry Kim, who's been there.
Mm-hmm.
Because 1/4 of the people they mentioned from the Maquis already had a rank. Janeway just reinstates it, just like Chakotay. He was already a commander. She just
I thought he was a
reinstated.
captain at one time.
No, he wasn't a captain. He was a
But
captain.
Belana
of the
didn't.
Maquis.
For example,
Captain of the
Belana didn't
Maquis.
finish the academy. Belana left the academy.
Yes, but she was already on track to be a lieutenant.
On track doesn't make you a lieutenant, though.
No.
She had the training
Harry
for it.
Kim is on track to
No,
be a
she
captain.
didn't have the. No, actually, Ken, she did not have the Federation training or Starfleet training because she left after what, 2 years?
2 or 3 years, yeah, something like that.
She's what we call she rocked out. She left. She quit. And no, in my opinion, yes, she may have been a better better engineer in technology. But just because you're the smartest person in that group does not mean of that particular field does not make you the leader. You have throughout my career, most junior officers, they know enough to rely on their senior enlisted people for guidance because that's what we're there for. We're there to assist, guide, and mentor our officers, our junior officers. That is one of our mandates as NCOs. Hell, I was actually fortunate. One thing I'll say I was fortunate to do. I had this captain. Her name was Captain Karen. And yeah, well, there's a reason why I hate that fucking term as an insult. I have family members named that, and I've had a lot of good people named it. So I don't like the term Karen. I hate it as an insult. But yeah, her name was Captain Karen. She was she had a line number for major. What line number means is she was eligible for promotion. She had been selected for promotion. And when her line number dropped, she was going to get promoted that month. And I asked her if she was going to, I was like, well, you're going from company grade to field grade. I said, so you're going to obviously be leaving this office. I said, where do you think you're going to go? She goes, I'm actually thinking about getting out. I said, ma'am, can I speak freely? She goes, yeah. I said, I don't think you should get out. She says, why? I said, because we are running very short on excellent company grade officers that go to the field grade position. And I said, I would love for you to stay because you're one of the best company grade officers I've ever served under. And I think you will make an excellent field grade officer. Now, I don't know if what I said had any influence on her, but she stayed and got promoted to major and was transferred and is now a lieutenant colonel.
Nice.
And I could not be happier for her.
And Richie says here, I want to first of all, I want to say to Jill here that thank you very much that you like the discussion here, because the next comment that is just below the one that is highlighted. And Richie says Kim does grow and mature. In certain things when he says that, but is it really shown on screen?
Yeah.
And Darius says character development isn't unnecessary in the main cast, but where should we see something like character development? That's the question. That's the question, because
in the characters that are not archetypes.
Which are?
Neelix is not an archetype. 7 of 9 is not an archetype.
And 7 had a great growth. That was an excellent.
The Doctor is not an archetype.
Perfect. Agree. And I mentioned both of them, how they grew. Neelix was as well somebody who grew on that ship as a character. I can't say that he's my favorite because he is probably my least favorite character on the show. But once again, it's me. There are people who like Neelix as a character. But yes, definitely he grew. You know what? Even Cass had a growth with her.
The thing is, those two characters I think grew the most when they split up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, the
I think
relationship
that was the best
just
thing
weird.
for those two characters was once they split up, it really allowed their characters to grow. What I would have liked to have seen, we talked about Year from the Year of Hell, or was it the Year of Hell or Year from Hell?
Year of Hell.
Year of Hell. Okay. Neelix is now a junior officer on Tuvok's security detail. I would have actually have liked to have seen. That's why I said I didn't like the fact that everything was forgotten, because I would have actually liked to have seen him grow in that role. Because he was different.
I think the way it ended for Neelix is a good ending for him.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
It's a great ending for him. And then in the Star Trek Online video game, you get to find out what happened to him, and we get to see more of him on that asteroid and how he leads those people. They screw him over, and a lot of people die when they leave the asteroid on that in that mission in the game. But it's actually a good story. It's a good storyline. All the Voyager stuff in Star Trek Online is great.
When they incorporated Voyager, not Voyager, when they incorporated Discovery in STO, it's just like, yeah, go fuck yourselves.
Yep, yeah, that's when I dropped it too.
When they have Klingons using lightsabers, I'm out. It's just like I can't even look at it without seeing them pandering to an audience that isn't there.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I keep saying a lot of times. Is all these people doing all this bitching, and I think I did a video on this, or I typed this. I said, all these people bitching, they're not buying your shit. All they're going to do is once you placate to them, they're going to find something else to bitch about that they don't like.
Yep.
As soon as Klingons get lightsabers and STO, I'm back in.
Hey, Captain Trek got to watch a little lightsaber action from Princess Bride the other day.
That's cool. I think if you were going to do an amalgam of Star Trek and Star Wars, I think the Vulcans would make great Jedi.
I can't do that. You see, I avoid anything that is a crossover between Star Trek and Star Wars because it's like trying to bring in Doctor Who. When they try to cross Doctor Who with Star Trek, it's like these are two.
That was really good. I like those.
Oh, you do? Yeah. See, for me, I just don't. I don't like the crossing of IPs.
No, but the whole thing about the whole Doctor Who crossover thing is that they make them more Doctor Who than Star Trek.
Oh, really?
Yes, because I actually read the comic, and they're graphic novels, so they're one-offs. They don't affect either because Doctor Who takes control. It doesn't affect Star Trek in any way. And in the one that I saw, it was Matt Smith, Doctor, and Guinan is the only one that perceives the change.
Well, that would make sense when Guinan noticed the change in yesterday's Enterprise.
Yeah, exactly. And it's because it's the Doctor. It's a time-based thing. He gets there, and when he gets there, he starts to change to accommodate the reality that he's in. He had no clue about it, and then over time, he starts to change, and then he's like, he knows who everyone is. He starts to become part of Star Trek, and he starts to know who everyone is, and he says, why do I know this? I know who you are. I know this, that, and the other. And he starts to kind of sort of forget about being the Doctor a little bit, and he gets like Sam Beckett Swiss cheese brain.
Oh, Quantum Leap style.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes. His transition into the Star Trek universe gives him Swiss cheese brain.
And folks, if you have never seen Quantum Leap, go watch it. Scott Bakula as Sam Beckett and
Oh shit! Who played Al?
Dean Stockwell.
Dean Stockwell. Thank you.
Dean Stockwell. Yes.
Yes, another great actor. Actually, when I saw Dean Stockwell show up on Enterprise, I about jumped out of my chair.
Yeah, that was good. That show was like, that's my childhood. Quantum Leap is my childhood, more so than Star Trek. I remember wondering
boy!
Yeah. My favorite is Oy vey.
Oh,
I'm a rabbi.
Oh boy, I remember that was his catchphrase for so long.
Yep.
Was oh boy.
They
But
said
then,
by the second season they just stopped putting it in the script, and he knew what to say.
Well, there's no reason to put it in the script anymore. He knew his catchphrase. I love the first episode of Quantum. It worked. What worked? You know, you're hearing his mind, and it's like you were part of a time experiment that went a little caca.
Yep.
And you know what's funny is he's all mad about it, and I wanted to be like, dude, you're the one who put your ass in the damn thing.
Yep.
Yeah, and then they started saying they couldn't tell him certain things because it would affect him, what he's doing. And then my other favorite was in that one episode. He sits there and he tells them something from the future. He says, he tells the doctors to stop the pregnancy by making the little girl drunk.
Yes, I remember that episode. He goes, what would a certain amount of it would make her instantly drunk and stop the contractions?
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then there was the one where he's in the Bermuda Triangle and he rigs up an IV with all the stuff that's there. He did a lot of really cool stuff in that show. They also, whenever...
yeah, it's so funny. Ahead. I watched... Oh, sorry, Ken. My bad.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, I was going to say that whenever they show it, they don't show it in order. But it doesn't have to be in order, but it's better if it is. Like when you watch it on TV or on like Peacock or any of those other Pluto will probably have it sometimes, I think. You know, the free TV service, they'll have it and they won't show it in order. It will never be in order, but it doesn't have to be. And then there's these edited versions of the show where they edit a lot of the episodes out and they'll just show you like a clip of the episode. Those aren't very good. It's the ones where you get to watch it for free on IMDb. They edited a lot of the show out. And you got to like buy it on DVD to get all the episodes.
Oh, I remember back in the early days, I would watch Star Trek. I was watching TNG on TV. And originally, I think we all might remember, they would do the full episode the first time. But then, when the episode came out later, there were things edited out. I noticed that with All Good Things.
Mm-hmm. They do that a lot for runtimes, for syndication. But I think...
Ken, there was that scene in All Good Things that where Picard is talking to Worf, and he's like, you know, giving Worf shit, and Worf goes, Toshtoga. And then there's a whole scene after that where they're yelling at you. He goes, you've always used Klingon traditions against me. Because it always worked. And they cut that out of the episode. All he does is go, Toshtoga, and then says, fine. I was like, you took one of the best parts of the episode out?
Mm-hmm. Then the other one, didn't they do one where they edited out Riker telling him he wasn't going to kill him when he got his back hurt?
No, I did not.
I think they edited that one. They edited something like that or the one where Riker eats the food when he goes to the Klingon ship. They edit some of that down too.
Yeah, but why? You're just taking away from the best parts of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Or the episode. Sorry, the episode.
Yeah, and they did a lot of editing for the for like these standalone DVDs where they would sell like chunks of episodes. They'd edit them together, and so that they would like run into each other. So like all the Klingon episodes were edited together to make like one movie.
See, I disagree with what some people said here earlier. I think Worf really came into his own, in my opinion, in TNG when it was, and it might have been Way of the Warrior. I can't remember the top. The one where he goes up against and wants to challenge the lives of his father and is willing to die. You know, one thing I will say about Picard understood other species' rights. The whole point, I mean, that whole episode where Worf is paralyzed and he wants to die. And, oh shit, her name, what's the doctor's name? God damn it, what is Gates McFadden's name? Damn it.
Crusher,
thank you. Yeah, sorry, I drew a blank. She is fighting, and I mean, this is within her character. She's a Federation medical doctor. She's a Federation Starfleet medical doctor. He is a Starfleet captain. They have two different things. She's like, suicide is not an option. She goes, it is for him. And I mean, if you think about it, it's kind of similar to what they call Sabuku in the Japanese culture.
Yep.
This is considered, I mean, where you have in the Catholic religion, suicide is considered a cowardly act, where in the Japanese culture, Sabuku is considered an honorable act.
Well, you see, Klingon culture is patterned after samurais and Vikings.
That would make sense.
And
it's Viking bravado matched with a little bit of Bushido. That's the honor system of it's the you know how the Klingons, they have to be brave. That's where they get that's from Viking culture, where they have to be brave, and then they take that and then they add Bushido, like their honor code, and then that's Klingon.
One of the best episodes was that episode, and I cannot think of the name of it, was on DS9, where we find out Gowron is a prisoner and that there's actually a changeling playing him.
Yeah, that was Martok.
Yeah, that was Martok. But what I thought was so interesting was how they said, it's like, I thought you would kill yourself rather than prisoners. They said, not if there's a chance to escape or if we can fight. So I was like, that was great. It was like, okay, they are not as single-minded. One of the things I really liked about DS9 was that it kind of took away that single-mindedness of certain other cultures that TOS and TNG kind of, somewhat cemented.
Well, yeah, the thing about DS9 is the best part about DS9 is they took actual historical events from World War II and incorporated it into the story of Deep Space Nine, of the Dominion War. The episode where they find the what is it called? The bug ship, that ship is lifted directly from World War II when the U.S. finds a Zero, and they use it to train their pilots so they won't get killed by Zeros anymore. Did my earbud go out on me?
No.
And
You're still here, buddy.
So then you got the other thing where then the episode of AR whatever, something. One more Nog loses his leg. Yeah, when Nog loses his leg, that's also taken directly from Vietnam. That's a Vietnam scenario.
What was the name of that episode? That was one of my favorites.
And then Nog coming home and Nog coming home and facing the horrors of war. That's also that right there fits with the modern take on war. He's coming back from Afghanistan, and he has to deal with the fact that he's got PTSD.
I watched a show Ken Jack Band called The Rookie that has Nathan Filoni in it. There was a scene in there where you have this cop who is he trains the new recruits. You know, they've completed school and everything. And his old recruit, the one who is now what they call a P2, she is like, why are you so nice? Why are you treating her like this? You treated me like this. And he says this. He goes, she doesn't wear perfume. She goes, what? She doesn't wear perfume. She still thinks she's in Afghanistan. She still thinks that that's going to give away her position. It's like, I'm trying to teach her the difference because he had been there and he had seen all this and he knew the transition. This guy actually understood how to train his troops, which is, as a cop teaching, he knew how to do it based on personal experience and based on, okay, I see how you are. I got to see how I train you. And he trained, and I think her issue was, why are you training her different than me? It's because she is different. You were a very excited, very optimistic person. I had to kind of tell you that sometimes this is not the way to go because it's not always easy. Whereas her, she has combat experience, she's military, but the transition from military to police is not as easy as it sounds. And I'll be the first one to tell you, I know that because when I got out of the Marine Corps, I thought about joining the St. Louis Police Department, and I realized I would not have fit in.
No, because the military's job is to kill the enemy.
Yes, are.
It's not to talk to the enemy and say, how can we not kill you?
So it was an episode of The Rookie that just really, it was a couple episodes that just really sat well with me because I understood the officer's position on what he was doing in his tree. I understood in the first season. I understood in the second season because I had my biggest office. I had 25 people.
Wow.
Half were contractors, which meant they were civilians. And the other half were military. And unfortunately, out of those 12 military, they were all 12 very different people. And I had to learn to work around that.
Yeah.
My favorite thing about Deep Space Nine is at the end, when the Ferengi become an allegory for post-war America.
Wait, are we talking post-World War I or II?
Two. They become an allegory for post-World War II America because they literally changed their society to be more like modern day America is. They're all the women get to do whatever they want and get to live and make money and they're the guy they get to be the Negus, he becomes more like a president. And he's a war hero. He's a war hero. And his son and the guy that becomes Negus are war heroes.
Yes, they are.
And then
Rom a war hero.
I don't know.
Rom is a war hero because he's the reason they were able to mine the wormhole. He's the creator of the self-replicating mine.
Well, don't forget this. Also, don't forget Ken Jepin, that episode where the Pod Wraith, where he's O'Brien is telling everybody to do stuff, and then you have Rom go, why are we trying to kill the wormhole creatures?
Yep.
And he's like, what? He goes, well, this harmless world, it's harmless to us, but not to them. And, it took Rom to say, and Rom, even though he had been through, Rom was always, even with Quark shit, he always spoke his mind. And here was the thing. I love the episode where Nog is trying to go to Starfleet and he's working with Cisco. And he's like, where is the Greek? What is your reason? Why do you want to? Because I don't want to be like my father. My father is a mechanical genius. He could have been chief engineer of a starship. Instead, he's going to do like a good Ferengi and stay here and work for my uncle. I don't want that. What a powerful emotion from that guy. God rest in peace, that actor.
R.I.P. Aaron Eisenberg.
Yep.
Rest in
Guys,
peace.
sorry to jump in. I need to drop off. So I would like to say thank you very much, Captain, for having me on the panel. It was a very good discussion, and I will listen once I will finish a call that I have to attend right now.
Of course.
So thank you very much. Take care, guys, here on the panel and everybody in the chat. Bye-bye.
See you around.
Take care.
The Ferengi are the Ferengi in Deep Space Nine are the characters that have the most growth. They change the most.
I would agree.
They change the most, and they change for the better.
Hey, Cap.
Yes.
It's 10:30. I gotta get off. I'm gonna listen, but I gotta get some stuff done for the house. Wife's been gone, and if I just sit here and talk to you all day, I'm gonna have a very bad experience when I get home, and I haven't done shit.
Yeah, that's true.
So you guys all take care. I will catch you all on the flip side. Out of here.
Goodbye. Also, I think they wasted the Maquis. They really, really, really wasted the Maquis. I would have had the Maquis be like America and separate from Starfleet and become a force in the quadrant for good. And they would have had different technology because they don't have the same values as Starfleet. They value different things. They'd be more libertarian about the way they do things.
Nope, wrong analogy. They are less like the USA. Because they split up from the USA, so to speak.
No, because the way Starfleet is in the 24th century, they're more like colonial England than they are the USA. They're way more like colonial England than they are the USA by the time you get to the 24th century. When in Kirk's time, they were an allegory for the USA, but not by the time we get to 24. That's why a British person, an Englishman, is the captain of the flagship in the 24th century.
Interesting. I hadn't really considered that.
Oh, my phone's heating up.
I mean, you're gonna need. Yeah, I know you're gonna need to go. Thank you again for joining.
No problem. I enjoy being on your show, man. This is fun.
It's always fun having you on. And yes, the link is in the chat if anyone wants to join. You have a good day, Kinjack Ben. Always good to talk. Well, we've gone about 3.5 hours. I know that Bird is probably currently not available. But I know that he is going to be doing Deep Space Nine Wednesday. I think that's 3 p.m. Eastern. I'm not sure. I'll have to wait till he's back. So what's going on, Mar?
Well, trying to get a little bit of a rest from yesterday's peak. And yeah, my brother, he got this T-shirt to his birthday saying that he's the best dad of the universe. And I was like, well, that T-shirt would more fit to me. And he was like, yeah, but you do not even have kids. And I said, exactly.
Oh, that's pretty bad.
And how is it going over on your end?
Oh, fairly well. Unfortunately, and I will say this, the bandages I got yesterday were some of the bandages I used before, which didn't work as well. So I'm fortunate that they handed me some extra adhesive things from previous times. I would be stingy on using them because I wanted to stretch it out. But yeah.
Huh. But good that you say that. Because I still need to take my pills.
Bar?
Yeah?
Pills.
I know I'm bad. I'm bad with my pills.
Okay, Mountains. I'll check Twitter.
You should think that after 3 years of taking them, I'm kind of getting used to it. And do not forget them every day.
Okay, Mountain sent something to me. Okay, I'm gonna watch this. It's a 36-second clip. So I'm definitely not showing it, but oh Lord, I'm only 7 seconds in, and yeah.
What?
It's not wanting to load right, so I'll have to wait to watch it later. Oh, definitely could not show that. Yeah. Oh. Mountains, you still amaze me. See, the problem with the Maquis is they still wanted to operate within somewhat within the norms of Starfleet, even though they wanted to rebel against Starfleet, which didn't make sense.
I'd say it's more fair. They just wanted to keep what it meant to be human.
Right.
More Federation than Starfleet.
Okay, more Federation. That makes sense. So, what time are you going live with DS9 today?
It's a very good question, but as always, the answer is 4 p.m. Eastern on weekdays.
4 p.m. Eastern. Okay, sorry.
4 p.m. on weekdays, 3 p.m. on weekends. It is the new official schedule.
Cool.
Except for Thursdays, which I don't generally plan to go live while there's Star Trek to review. But if I do go live, it will be on the X channel.
Right. And
Cinnabon is Twitch. Sweet.
How are you, Twitch rich?
Did he get his first Twitch payday?
Cool.
I assume each one of those bags represents a nickel.
I was assuming the same thing. Maybe a quarter, but yeah.
I should probably go ahead and get Empaknor set up.
I'm
a little behind today.
No problem.
Holy shit, 36 cents in ad revenue. Congratulations.
Cool. We'll just have to get people watching more. So let's see here. Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Empaknor is the episode. That's season 5?
Indeed, season 5. Episode 24, 25? I'll see in a second.
Couldn't remember. I thought it was in the 20s, but
DS9, season 5, episode 24.
Oh, right. And that will be at 4 p.m. Eastern on Birdo Prey 5's channel. And Wildback says, howdy, folks. I'm so mad once again. I'm at the reset this morning, and everyone is an hour late except me. So I'm smoking a cigar and waiting. Everyone's an hour late. That's just ridiculous. Yeah. At least you're there and ready, and you got a cigar handy to smoke. So hey. And Cinnamon Bunny says, Empaknor is the episode that started to slide towards a horrible season 7.
Cinnabon is treading awfully close to salty territory.
Oh, the salty bunny?
I think there's too much salt in the rabbit's diet.
I think so too. And I wouldn't say it was the season that ruined Star Trek. There were things that shouldn't have happened that did. Yes, agreed. But I don't know if I'd say it ruined Star Trek, but it didn't help it either. And yes, anti-derivative Jill is shocked. Well, Mike says, at least I got coffee, and congrats on the 36-cent Cinnabon. I'm still 750 subs from monetization. Yeah, he got his on Twitch. I will never have enough to be monetized on Twitch, so I don't have to worry. I can broadcast to both platforms.
On Twitch, you only need 50 subscribers. And then some regular watchers.
Yeah. Let me check here now. I'm going to open my Twitch real quick just so I can see. I'm trying to remember how many followers or whatever it is I have. And God damn it, now I had to mute myself there. And 38 followers. I have 38 followers on Twitch. So, like I said, I'm not going to have to worry about monetization for, well, ever. So, yeah. But I do appreciate the 36 I do have over there. Thank you so much. And as always, we do broadcast both to Twitch and my brain would say Odyssey, as well as to YouTube. And it just says, you said that about getting just 300. Well, okay, you're right. You're right. I also said that about getting to 400. Okay. Now, people are trying to get me higher in numbers, which I do appreciate. Don't get me wrong. But YouTube has been kind of a dick, and people have subscribed, and then suddenly they're unsubscribed that same day. Yeah. So, you know. And let's see here. Yes. Definitely a super salty bunny. Working on a new animated template for videos. Thinking about doing a short solo review. Solo reviews. Oh, I don't know what would be good. Really don't. What do you think of that salty bunny? You like the name, or Ah. So, of course, Cinnamon says, do Solo reviews on Solo. Of course, Van Black says, no, Solo is the worst Star Wars movie. So, and Ken Jackman says, well, I'm going to take a sandwich break. See you later, people. And that's good to hear. I think on that note, I will go ahead and end this stream. I do want to thank everyone who's been in the chat and everyone who has been watching. Thank you so much. Please remember to share this out if you can. You know, do the rest, like, share, blah, blah, blah. And you all have a great day.
Talk to you all later. Arrivederci.